Springboro varsity cheerleaders, and this is the MVCC Game of the Week. Let's go!
Number 13, 6'4",
We're the Miamisburg Viking cheerleaders, and this is the MVCC Game of the Week.
Hello and welcome to the High School Football MVCC Game of the Week, presented by City Barbecue and Miami Valley Adapted Sports. It's week number 7, and that means conference play is already underway. We are here at Holland Field in Miamisburg, Ohio, for homecoming, where an intense G-Walk National West battle between the 2-4 Springboro Panthers and the 3-3 Miamisburg Vikings is about to happen. Thanks for being with us. I'm Jared Bergstrom alongside my partner Jeff Allen. It is 75 degrees outside and mostly cloudy. Really a great night for football to end towards the end of the season.
Yes, indeed.
Jeff, let's start off with, how did the Vikings fare last week against Fairmont Firebirds?
Last week, the Vikings' losing streak climbed to a whole 3. A 2-point loss to the Fairmont Firebirds, who 28-26, as the Vikings head coach Steve Chanel scratching his head so far this season. This is the longest losing streak the Vikings have had since before Steve Chanel took over at the helm 6 years ago. The game was close throughout, but the Vikings went for two separate times, and the Firebirds defense came up strong. And that ended up being the difference in the game. Running back Tony Clark did have 3 rushing touchdowns and a great game, pushing his season total to 12. And Jared, how did the Panthers do against the Beaver Creek Beavers?
For the first time this season, the Beavers suffered a loss. The Panthers picked up the 27-24 win last week on their homecoming night with a field goal from senior kicker Connor Luxick. Again, it was the first loss for the Beavers on the year, and that gives the Panthers a lot of momentum with the last few weeks of the season. Maybe a push for the 7th or 8th seed in the playoffs, but if the Panthers want to try to get there, they have to continue tonight and get another W. Jeff, how about you introduce us to Coach Wilhite of the Panthers?
Well, this is Springboro head coach Ryan Wilhite's 12th season with Springboro. 2-4 record this year so far. 81-40 overall. 5-time G-Walk Coach of the Year. Perfect regular season in 2012. So a really good track record, as well as the guy across the sidelines. Jared, what do we know about the Vikings head coach?
Steve Chanel is his 6th season with the Vikings, his 21st overall as a head coach. His record this year is 3-3, 204 and 110 overall record. Division II 2003 state runner-up to with his stint with Edgewood, and he's credited for Miamisburg's first playoff win in school history. All right, and back to keys to the game. Jeff, what has to happen for the Panthers to pick up a win on the road tonight?
Well, offensively, Jared, Cameron Roundtree, if the Panthers want to win tonight, he's going to have to be flawless, even though he is listed at the quarterback. Roundtree does come out of the backfield a lot. You will see it tonight. On the year, Roundtree has 93 carries for 536 yards and 5 touchdowns. Chris Hughes also, this 5'11 senior, has 475 yards and 5 touchdowns on the year, one of the leading receivers in G-Walk. He has speed off the ball and has decent breakaway speed as well. So the Panthers need to utilize this kid's speed and hands tonight at the receiver position. Defensively, Miamisburg is going to be all runs. Talking with Coach Chanel last week, he said the less you do, the better for your team when you are in a slump. So Miamisburg is probably going to go back to their basic wing T offense tonight. So you have to watch out for the running backs, the stints, and the different blocking assignments by the offensive line, like always. And last but definitely not least, Tony Clark, John Yerkins. Tony Clark, these two kids have been sensational this far. The combination so far for the Vikings has been deadly, nearly 1,000 yards and 16 touchdowns between the two. If the Panthers want to try and get out of Miamisburg with a win, then they'll have to try to stop these two running backs tonight, and you never know which one's going to carry the ball. Jared, what has to happen for the Vikings to get back on the winning ways?
It's simple. You said it earlier. Miamisburg just needs to peel the playbook back and do everything simple. The Vikings just need to do what they were doing in that 3-game winning streak to start the season. Nearly 1,000 yards in the first 3 games and 15 touchdowns. The Vikings were flawless in the beginning of the season and need to get back to those ways if they want to try to salvage their season and maybe make the playoffs at a lower seed. And defensively, they need to watch out for Cameron Roundtree. You read his stats earlier, but this senior has the ability to put the game in his hands and put the team on his back and drive him down the field. If the Vikings defense wants to get out of the field tonight or get off the field tonight, they're going to have to be able to make an open field tackles on Roundtree and be able to contain him.
As Tony Clark takes a 15-yard kick return to start off the game.
And now it's time for our predictions for tonight's game. Jeff, who are you picking and why?
I'm going to go with Miamisburg. I have a feeling they'll get this one, get out of their 3-game slump, and like you and I both said, get back to their winning ways. Just simply do what they do. Tony Clark has to be highly involved in this offense tonight and maybe mix it up with some Tate Vongsi to number 13 combinations as well. Jared, what about you?
I'm going to pick the Springboro Panthers. I think the Panthers picked up a huge win last week over a previously undefeated team, and I think that the Panthers just have a lot of momentum on their side, and they have a very good possibility. If they win tonight, they have their playoff chances are still alive. But it'll be a close game throughout, I think, and it'll be close throughout. So hopefully we're in for a treat.
Amen. As we kick that off, first play, Tate Vongsi, Tyler Johnson on a little hitch curl, and it's out of Johnson's hands, and that is an incomplete pass to kick off the game. 2nd and 10, Miamisburg ball. Tate Vongsi is under center. And you've been so high on this kid for the past 2 years now, Jared. What can you tell me about him?
Tate Vongsi, he's just another version of Jake Schoenberger. And Schoenberger, when he led the team through the years, as Jackson Myers gets a first down carry. No, they're going to say he's about a yard or two short, so it'll be 4th and 2 maybe. But, I mean, he was a good replacement when he learned under Jake Schoenberger. Schoenberger was probably one of the better Vikings quarterbacks we've seen in a long time. So he's just come in virtually flawless. Didn't have an interception last year until week 10 against Northmont, and we were there at that game. And so far, he's only turned the ball over 4 times this year, so he is very disciplined.
He's very systematic as well. Everything Miamisburg does is to a certain kind of way.
And you're going to see him all night running the plays in and out.
It's robotic.
Vongsi fakes the handoff, and he will have the first down for the Vikings out to the 41.5, 42.
Toughness shown by the junior there, pushing his way. It looked a little like Braden Miller last week running all over the Miamisburg defense. He faked the handoff, got around about 3 yards, and finally first down.
And what I've liked what Vongsi has done this year, he has cut back on the scrambles out, coming out of the backfield last year. If he didn't hand it off to Clark or Netherton, he was running to the sidelines immediately. This year he's letting plays develop, and he's letting the receivers and the offensive line do the work to get open. As you see a pass out here to Tyler Johnson, makes a defender miss, and he's out close to midfield. Tackle by number, is that 24 or 14 for the Panthers? 14, that is Jared McCarthy.
2nd down, Vikings.
And something about the Miamisburg offense that no one expected is the emergence of John Yerkins, Tony Clark's very reliable backfield mate, and you saw that a lot in week 3 against Loveland. You didn't know which one was going to get the ball, and throughout the season that's been the common theme. So a great system they have.
You see here in the bottom, Clark is down here at the bottom of the offensive line. And normally when that happens, it's going to be a carry for Yerkins right up the middle, like that was enough for another Vikings first down into Panther territory.
Maybe the smart board or something.
I know, that'd be nice.
So the 2nd first down in a row for the Miamisburg Vikings, coming off a run by Yerkins.
And this is something that they didn't do well the last time we were here against Troy. They didn't move the ball well really the first half, first 3 quarters of the game. And when push came to shove late in the game, they moved the ball well, but it was too little too late. And I think Steve Schnell, he's utilizing that. He's only going to throw passes when he really has to, as Clark gets a carry this way, and Clark is hit immediately and upended by number 29, Andrew Wiedemann.
Well, relatively in the past, Miamisburg has been a conservative, like kind of abide by the system type of team. And, the last 3 weeks they've been aggressive, forcing things like those two-point conversions last week. And I think if they get back to the basics and back to the simplicity of their system, I feel like Miamisburg can be very successful for the rest of the season and maybe go on a late playoff run.
I don't know. It'll be close for the playoffs. I mean, we have here the Miamisburg Vikings. They're in Division I.
It's going to be a nail-biter, but it's possible.
3, yeah. I mean, they only take the top 8. Right now, 8 is Beaver Creek sitting with 11.2. And Miamisburg currently sits 12 with 6.6. If Miamisburg can pick up a win over Beaver Creek or Springboro, a Division I win is worth 6 computer points for the playoffs. So a win here would put either of them back into this playoff picture, kind of depending on how everybody else does.
An unusual year. You can tell the tides are turning because Fairmont is number 3 on that list, and Miamisburg and Springboro are
Tyler Johnson has a first down catch, and Tyler Johnson's down to the 25.
That kid has so much potential, man.
And he's been relatively quiet during this losing streak that the Vikings are on. He's not really been the one going out there catching the ball.
Yeah, last game he had a stretch of just like continuous targets. Then after that, it was all Quinley.
Between Coonley and Jackson, he's more of out there just as a defensive blocking assignment or an offensive blocking assignment or a decoy.
Well, I mean, either way it works for him. The 6'4", 200-pound receiver has been quite just a nightmare.
Clark with a carry up the middle. He will get about 5 on the play. Oh, no, that's 2 on the play. But, I mean, so far the Vikings moving the ball very successfully. I mean, they're picking up 4 or 5 yards at a time, especially on first down. If you can gain that on first down every time, I think Steve Chanel's going to be happy with that.
I was about to say, this is exactly the type of offense you want playing if you're Chanel. 2nd
and 5 is a whole lot different than 2nd and 10. The playbook opens up a whole lot more. But like Chanel was saying, I think they're going to condense that playbook. And Vongzi targets Johnson on the outside. Johnson breaks 1 tackle. He's at the 10 and pushed out of bounds at about the 8-yard line.
Number 11, Drew Berry on the tackle there. And we're seeing some of the usual doses of Tyler Johnson here early.
As you see here in the City Barbecue replay, Vongzi was reading that way all the way, and Johnson was able to make, I believe that was Wiedemann miss in an open field tackle.
The dangerous thing about Johnson is he has the speed of a mainly jump ball receiver, but those little hitch curls and curls in general allow him to use his playmaking ability.
That's why playing zone can bite you.
Yeah, once he gets open field, man, it's over.
Yerkins carry up the middle, and Yerkins is down to the 1-yard line.
Excellent play design by Miamisburg. I didn't even know who had the ball.
I thought Yerkins or Vongzi pulled it out.
Yeah, I thought Vongzi kept it. Then I looked at Vongzi. I was like, he doesn't have the ball. Then I looked at Clark. He doesn't have the ball.
So if you're Miamisburg, you have 3 different options you can go with out of the backfield. You can go Vongzi up the middle, or you can go with one of the other running backs, Clark or Yerkins, and Springboro's defense looks confused.
And Myers on the edge. Don't forget about him.
Clark carry up the touchdown, untouched for a 1-yard run for the Vikings.
That's his 13th rushing touchdown of the season, and this kid never gets less impressive.
No, Tony Clark is seemingly a walking highlight reel every time he steps onto the field.
He's built quite a name for himself in this GWAC conference.
8:13 left in the first quarter, and Miamisburg scores on a 1-yard touchdown run by Tony Clark. You got Colin Dillon on to kick the extra point. On to hold is number 11, Tamar Thomas. Or no, that's Drew Berry. My apologies. And the kick is up, and it's into the band, so it's good.
Colin Dillon on the extra point, 7-0. Vikings early in the first quarter.
Now it's going to be how is Springboro going to respond?
When you set the tone like that, Jared, the rest of the game kind of becomes easy.
I mean, so far the game's going in your favor. You've been able to move the ball with success.
That's exactly how Steve Chanel pictured this first drive, no doubt.
Tonight's MVCC High School Football Game of the Week is being recorded by the Miami Valley Communications Council and media students from Kettering, Fairmont, and Miamisburg High Schools. Go to our website, mvcc.net, to find a schedule for rebroadcast of this game and others throughout the season. Catch tonight's game powered by City Barbecue on Spectrum Cable Channel 21 or mvcc.net. Use the hashtag CityBarbecueReplay to join in on the conversation.
Go to mvcc.social to find us all over social media. Follow us up for updates all season long and join in the conversation using the hashtag CityBarbecueReplay.
All right, Crazy Train's playing, and that means it's time for a Vikings kickoff. Dylan on to kick off from the 40. Looks like Willian Yates is the only one back deep to return for the Panthers. And this one's trailing towards the sideline and recovered at the 15. And a nice open field tackle back at the 20 by number 7 of the Vikings. That is Cameron Sloan.
And Timmy Kessaday taking the return there, didn't get very far at all. That ball will be spotted at the 22.
Replay. Nice open field tackle, getting tackled by the Vikings.
Wrapped straight up, and Roundtree will be back for the Springboro Panthers.
Roundtree going out to a pass to Yates. Yates makes one person miss, moving upfield. He has a first down out to the 34-yard line for the Panthers.
And that's something Coach Ryan Wilhite loves to execute, getting that little dude in open space. Willian Yates, saw him last year, premiered as a freshman in the JV basketball games, and this year he's become such a weapon for that Springboro offense.
And 23 with a carry out to the outside, and he's upended by, was that Clark? No, that was 20. That was Peyton Standifer with the carry, and Connor Harden with the tackle. Saved a first down and possibly a nice open field tackle here, as you can see in the replay.
And this up-tempo Springboro offense is always dangerous.
Now Yates gets the carry out of the backfield, and Yates explodes.
That
and Yates
breakthrough speed.
And
Oh
Yates
my goodness!
And a fumble on the play.
Jurgens with the strip from behind.
And the Vikings comes up with a fumble recovery at their own 25.
And Jurgens, incredible play, not just the pursuit to chase Willian Yates down.
Hold on, let's see. The referees are meeting. Let's see what they say. Everybody's watching, and he is signaled down. Maybe
And
if we
Steve Chanel is
Steve
exploding
Chanel is
on the field. So excellent play design by Springboro to get Willian Yates in the backfield. But even better play by John Jurgens. Incredible pursuit to track Yates down and strip the ball. Almost strip the ball.
Let's see if Miamisburg's defense can help them back up their coach and force a turnover
Yeah, they'll
here.
pump up the way to pump up the crowd. Got Roundtree taking the snap on this one.
Standifer and be standing right behind him. Roundtree out past the Yates flag.
False start on Springboro. That's going to be 5 back.
There was some extracurricular activity. There was, I believe that was.
You can see on the City Barbecue replay.
Yeah, false
Roundtree
start
dropped
number
back.
79 moved too quickly. But there was 43 for the Vikings. Cale Parker said number 24 for the Panthers. Jake Wade were pushing and shoving, and Roundtree fakes the handoff up to Standifer up the middle, and they'll be close to about 2nd 5.
And so far, I'm impressed by the Springboro play design. Very, very good halfback draw there.
3rd and about 6 here.
Going up tempo once again.
And Roundtree hands off to Standifer. Standifer spin move. And a
Jurgens
fumble on the ground again.
Jurgens stripped it. I'm pretty sure Springboro recovered that. I saw him at the bottom of that pile, and it's going to be Springboro ball still.
Number 84. Chris Hughes comes up with the fumble recovery for the Panthers.
But he spin off a tackle in the backfield and spin off another one.
Which caused the fumble.
Yeah, which caused the fumble. But how about Jurgens here causing 2 early? Well, one was
count.
a fumble. 1 early fumble.
Roundtree back to pass.
So
Straight
fake the other way.
To Standifer. He has a wide open block. He's at the 10-5, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown.
Outstanding play call by head coach Ryan Wilhite so far this game.
hold on. There's a flag on the play.
It looked like a distinctive touchdown, but
Let's see if we can see anything in the
had to be
replay.
off the ball here. So good.
No penalty. The refs are waving it off. And you see Stanifer, there was 2 good blocks, and Yerkins tried to get him at the 3.
But look how Roundtree sold that little flip pass to the other side. The defense had no idea Stanifer and 2 offensive linemen were sneaking out there.
They have number 99, Connor Luxick, the kid who won the game last week for him against the Beavers, on to attempt the extra point.
And you can bet the senior is buzzing this week.
Bad hold, but
Doesn't
the kick
matter.
is up and good.
Very impressive kick.
I was watching him.
That's to the parking lot.
And-
Rolling your car.
And that car might be dented. But I was watching him pregame. He was kicking it from the 45 with ease. But 6:36 left. And it's tied at 7 in our week number 7 game of the week, Springboro versus Miamisburg. Tonight's MVCC game of the week is also sponsored by Miami Valley Adapted Sports. MVAS is a Paralympic sports club that provides recreational and competitive sporting opportunities for individuals with physical disabilities. Visit MiamiValleyAdaptedSports.org for more information.
Check out MVCC.fans for real-time live scores or our MVCC Game of the Week games. Engage now at MVCC.fans.
It'll be interesting to see how, each team.
And I don't know, right? Will
If-
High is really pulling stuff out of the bag here early.
If you're a defensive coordinator, you didn't want to see this game happen. Both teams are going to run over each
Yeah.
other all night.
Yeah.
So this is by far going to be a high-scoring game.
Well, both coaches seem very aware of the rivalry that was at their hands.
And the kick is up, and it is into the end zone for a touchback. That was kicked off by number
Great kick.
39.
Matthew DePore.
It goes into the end zone. It'll be first
So
down by
Springboro carries 2 kickers. And DePore goes and gets his tee and runs to the sideline.
DePore is a freshman, and Luxick is a senior. So very intriguing there. He's still living about that fumble, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's just not giving up. And he'll ignore the ref for a conversation with Vongzi. And the rest of the offense is out. Chanel conversating with his quarterback. So number 9 will come out there.
Oh, the last 2 years we've had been when Chanel really gets mad, he rips off that pullover polo. It's always funny to watch him try and rip that off.
Vongzi to Johnson on the curl.
Johnson will be out to the 25, so about a gain of 5 on that. That's Johnson's, 3rd or 4th catch already
Yeah,
this game?
and all those catches are very efficient too.
He's going right to the edge of that zone.
Well, it seems kind of like an AJ Green strategy where it's either a streak or a curl. There's no really going across the middle of the field with Johnson. He just owns that little seam outside, and he can. There's not a matchup in G-Walk that he cannot overcome. I don't think. I don't know anybody who can cover the 6'4", 190.
I don't know.
Johnson.
Ryan Hall for Fairmont did a good job last week.
Decent job. He allowed a lot of catches, and Clark's
Clark
going to go out
with
to
the
the
carry.
outside.
It'll be enough for a first down. He's out to about the 31, so gain of 6. Tackle on the play by number 29, Andrew Wiedemann.
Moving the ball early and often has been the name of the game for this Vikings offense.
And I don't think Steve Chanel cares how they move the ball or how they get the first down as long as they get it. But I've not really seen a lot of pitches come out from Miamisburg until this year. Something that seems to be working so far in this game. Really kind of going away from the wing tee and going to a pitch out or a draw up the middle. And Vongzi back to pass, going deep to Johnson.
That's a hitch route.
And Johnson
my
comes up
goodness.
with a catch. Johnson makes 2 people miss.
Tremendous body control.
And Johnson's down to the 18-yard line.
And it took Josh Collins and Peyton Stanifer to get him down. Tyler Johnson is having one hell of a game.
A hitch and go route for Johnson there, and that's almost a gain of 50. Vongzi throwing it deep.
And I think that's where all the curls are like being set up for. Like they set up that play, no doubt. All curls last week, all curls this week, and finally you get that hitch and go route.
Johnson has 5 receptions for 95 yards already.
Colin
If
Dillon
you can
will
see
be
up on
on.
the scoreboard. Longsy's 5 out of 6 for 95 yards.
False start on Miamisburg. So now, 1st and 15.
1st and 15 from the 23. Yep, the 23. I like that what the Vikings do. They keep the stats on the scoreboard for us. I think Chanel's still mad about that fumble. He's still looking at that ref. It's like every time he walks by, he just gives him that dirty eye. It's like, yeah, I'll remember that for later in the game. 1st and 15. Vongsy back to pass. Vongsy going to Johnson.
Johnson
in the
again.
end zone, and Johnson has another touchdown.
Oh my goodness, this kid is good.
Over 100 yards receiving in this first quarter and a touchdown. He had 95 yards before that catch, plus 23. That's 108, I think, now.
This is the first quarter, Jared. You're talking about a wide receiver here. There's 5 minutes left in this first quarter, and Johnson has already eclipsed 100 yards and a touchdown.
This is going to be Johnson's night, it seems like, as Dillon's on to kick the extra point for the Vikings. Holds good, kicks up and good.
So Tyler Johnson
Statistically, yes.
on record. He's on the way for a record night here.
6 catches for 118 yards, averaging 19.7 yards a catch, and a touchdown.
So all his tools are emerging.
First quarter. These are halftime stats for receivers in college and NFL. But this game could be like our Springboro Centerville game was 2 years ago. It could be 50-49 the final. Games like this, you don't really want to see them end. Just keep going. But Dillon's on to kick off, and it looks like Yates is still back, the only one back to return the kick.
And I think that's all you need to return that kick. Because Yates has shown his breakaway speed and playmaking ability all season continuously. Dillon, that's going to go straight.
That's that number
Kessaday.
20, and he's out to the 30.
So another good open
Tackled
field tackle.
by maybe number 8, John Gebhardt, and 25, Cameron Kirkpatrick. Now it's going to be, how does Springboro capitalize on this drive? That first drive was very successful, going down the field in only maybe 7 or 8 plays.
Well, they didn't do a lot of simple things. They really ran a lot of more perplexing calls, which drives my curiosity up as how they're going to handle this game, because Miamisburg has shown no signs of slowing down at all. So Roundtree, Yates on the motion, hands off to Yates, and he has Standifer as a lead blocker.
Yates has the edge, and there's a flag on the far sideline. 43 with the tackle for the Vikings. That is Cale Parkhurst. But let's see what the flag is.
The refs are still talking.
Illegal motion against Springboro, so that'll back them up 5 yards.
And if you notice before that play, Cameron Roundtree is kind of talking to Yates, and might have had something to do with that. So that's going to be 1st and 15.
So 1st and 15 from the 25. What?
And here we go.
They're still marking the penalty off.
Something tells me these head coaches aren't the biggest fans of these refs.
You know this is a big-time rival. The last 2 years, this has gone down to the final possession.
Well, you know it's going to be heated, Jerry.
So if you're the refs, you got to let them play. Let the extra contact go for a little bit.
So no one out wide on number 3 quickly. It's not going to matter as the read
Roundtree
option.
keeps it up the middle, and Roundtree will be close to the original line of scrimmage.
So it's about
maybe
a 6-yard
game
run.
of 2.
6-yard run off the read option for Roundtree.
So it'll be 2nd and 9. And you could, it was a read option all the way.
Actually, no, that looked like a designed quarterback run the way those that
Yeah,
guard in the center pulled like that.
You fake the handoff then.
So Roundtree.
Roundtree hands off to Standifer this time. Standifer has the edge and pushed out of bounds at about the 36-yard line.
It's a good, tough run for about 4 yards there.
Joel Elder checks into the game for number 42.
They're
Dylan Grimm for the Vikings.
They're going to call that a 5-yard run. 4-yard run.
4-yard run. 3rd and 4 from the 36. Depending on how much you get here, is it 4-down territory if you're the Panthers?
I don't know, Jared.
Standifer keeps it. Standifer has the hole.
He has a
Standifer.
gigantic hole.
Standifer cuts back out. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. Stiff arm, and Yerkins with a, no, that's number 20. Connor Harden with a come from behind tackle at the 20. A touchdown saving tackle for the Vikings. But Standifer, he had 2 good cuts on that play.
Well, it's
You
like
see
you
here.
see on the City Barbecue replay, the second level was just mauled by the offensive line. They came up and hit him early, and so
And
they
he's-
paved the way for that hole, and there's going to be a flag early on this play on the quarterback keeper.
Roundtree is up the middle, and Roundtree has a touchdown run. But I believe that one's
That's
coming back.
That's coming back. So waiting for the call here. Very good quarterback keeper by Cameron
False
Roundtree.
start against Springboro, so that'll back them up 5. Take the touchdown off the board.
So the 3rd false start here in the first quarter. 3:11 here, and that'll
1st and 15 now at the 25. Well, last time they had a
Instead
false
of go-
start, they just handed it to Standifer, who ran for about 30.
well, instead of a 20-yard run, for a touchdown, it's a 5-yard loss.
5-yard loss and a penalty.
There's definitely some mental mistakes that need to be corrected by both of these teams very earlier. It's going to be a flag-painted game.
Now we have Sandalwick in the backfield now for the Panthers, number 33. And Sandalwick, no, Roundtree keeps it.
So
Roundtree,
that was a read option right there.
and Roundtree's still going down to about the 16. I don't know, that looked like he was going to keep it all the way. It didn't look like he wanted to even hand it off to Sandalwick.
Well, I don't think there was any pulls on the line, which leads me to believe it was a read option. So
Dylan Woodkey with the tackle.
see on the City Barbecue replay.
Well,
I'm not sure.
There was a few times last week. Miller went to fake the handoff, and the
And
glove
there's no one
wasn't
there.
even on that side. And Sandalwick, no, Roundtree pulls it
Up
out.
the middle,
Hughes.
Hughes.
Nice touchdown saving tackle by number 12 of the Vikings,
Brant
Profit. That's what you got to do against Hughes. You got to hit him down low at the legs, or he will be able to break tackle. Roundtree runs up to the line. Roundtree runs it up over the middle, and a touchdown signal by the ref.
He's going to have that one there.
So a 2-yard dive over the top of the end zone, and Roundtree has his 6th rushing touchdown of the year.
And I think we've seen more rushes out of Springboro tonight than we have out of Miamisburg.
I know,
which is
kind of
flip-flop there.
Yeah.
But I don't think there has not been one other receiver tonight for Miamisburg other than Tyler Johnson. I think he consists of all their passing offense.
I think now they're going to start doubling Johnson up.
You
Then
have
you're
to
gonna-
do
then you're
something
gonna
about
have
number
to have-
13.
You're going to have Coonley and Jackson being able to come out now, and Clark and Yerkins can still catch it out of the backfield too.
Well, I don't think Miamisburg has.
Luxig's kick is up and good, and let's see if that one gets to Denicar.
I think after Vongzi's game last week, where he threw for 13 of 18, 142 yards, and a touchdown against Fairmont, and was mostly all in the second half, and they were trying to come back.
It was.
And so once they kicked in the passing mode, it seems like they had more success as an offense. So I think that's something they're trying to utilize very early, and they might be trying to change up the game plan. Who knows?
I don't know. I mean,
They did the same thing against Loveland in week 3 when they came out and ran it with Yerkins for most of the game. And so,
and looking at the rest of their schedule after tonight, Miamisburg has Lebanon. Next week, senior night, and then they're on the road for the last 2 weeks at Beaver Creek and at Northmont. A tough way to end the season.
I was about to say 2 very tough games there.
So it's going to be hard. I mean, Miamisburg has dug themselves in a hole, and now it is. Let's see if the ability of these seniors can they drag them out of that hole and maybe make a late playoff push.
Well, it's very unfortunate the way they've lost. They're a very good team, and
if
both of these teams, their record does not reflect how good of football teams they are.
If you look at who Miamisburg lost to, they were on a 3-game winning streak, and they lose to Wayne,
Troy, Fairmont.
Wait, yeah. 10-point loss to Troy and a 2-point loss to Fairmont. Clark out to the 21.
That's sort of a switch up. We haven't seen Clark at kick returning duties much this year at all.
No, he returned the first one, and that's about it, the opening kickoff. But that.
And so Tate Vongsi, Tony Clark, and Tyler Johnson, big three, will come out, try to lead this team to a third straight successful drive in a row.
Yeah, I'll raid you. Oh, you have Cleveland's big three. I'll raise you a big three with Miamisburg's.
Well, they have been nothing short of incredible so far the past 2 years, man.
It's going to be interesting to see how Vongsi does without both of them next year.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. A completely different team.
Yerkins carry up the middle, good for about 9.
And at least last year when you had, both Myers on both sides of the ball leaving and Lamb leaving and all that good stuff, at least you had some of the identity retained. But with this team, it's just after these 2 years, it's going to be everything gone. So Vongsi will have a tough ship to steer ahead of them next season. We'll see how it goes. They'll worry about tonight as Vongsi lead the offense. Tony Clark up the middle. And he'll have the first down. So Miamisburg has not been stopped so far tonight. And they'll keep it up here.
23 seniors on the team for Miamisburg this year. So losing another big chunk of players as they did last year.
And the crazy part is they're not just losing players, they're losing playmakers, man. Sean Yerkins is gone.
No, Yerkins stays.
Oh, wait,
Yerkins is a junior, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Yerkins gets the carry, and they might give him forward progress at the line of scrimmage.
I think what they've been doing this year is not only giving some trickery play to their offenses, also some grooming for next year.
I know. I think they're giving Yerkins chances to see if he can lead this offense.
And he's shown nothing but promise this year.
Officials timeout is number 57 of the Panthers. Quentin Webb checks out for an equipment malfunction.
And Yerkins has also showed the flashes on defense, too. On defense.
Well, you've seen it so far tonight. One fumble, one forced fumble, and
another one that possibly should have been a fumble. Very controversial call.
Well, if you ask Steve Chanel, it's a fumble.
God.
Well, I think he's
Tyler
down.
Johnson.
Down here at the bottom of the screen. Vongsi, I think, is going to keep it and roll out to the right. Vongsi has a first down, and Vongsi, a nice hole.
Vongsi's gone.
Vongsi out, and he wisely steps out of bounds at about the 45-yard line.
Fantastic play design there by the Miamisburg Vikings. And Steve Chanel, as it looked like a play-action play at first, but then Vongsi, he starts churning that arm. You know he's running.
He's just like, I'm just going to outrun all you, and then you're not going to tackle me. I'm going to step out of bounds.
And he's not particularly quick, but those long strides and that big, tough body. Dave Vongsi looks like he was almost built to be a quarterback.
That's why he's playing quarterback.
That's why they pay you the big bucks, Jared. 1st and 10.
And Yerkins gets the carry up the middle. Yerkins makes 2 people miss, and Yerkins has a touchdown run for the Vikings. A 40-yard touchdown run for Yerkins and the Vikings with 50 seconds left in the first quarter.
And this one has the potential to bring us to our seats already. 5 touchdowns in the first quarter.
Watch this explosiveness. Yerkins blows through the line, almost untouched.
And there you go. Josh Collins can't get the tackle. Max Yost giving the last effort, but can't get the burst to catch him.
Checks out where everybody is at, and now he looks to go celebrate with Jackson Myers. Dylan's kick is up and good. Yerkins, 5 carries, 68 yards, 12.8 yards a carry, and 1 touchdown of 40 yards. This is going to be a long night.
These kids are showing out so far, man.
And the defensive coordinator doesn't want to look at the stats.
It's going to be a quick strike game so far.
It'll be whoever has
doesn't
the ball
score.
last.
Whoever doesn't score, basically.
That one too.
Yeah, no signs of the defense so far this game.
D what? Colin Dillon on now for the Vikings to kick off for the fourth time. No, third time. They didn't kick off first. Third time in this first quarter.
And he seems to almost be targeting number 20 for the Panthers, Timmy Kessaday. But Yates is back there. We know what Yates can do with the ball once he gets it. Problem is he hasn't been getting it. Kick's not quite far enough.
Oh, look, they're switching. Yates and, what's his name? Kessaday just switched. Let's see if Dillon realizes
Wow, that changes it up.
I think
And they're going to the other side now.
And that's a
That's
flag.
a flag.
It's kicked out of bounds.
So last second, you've seen Kessaday and Yates switching it up.
I was about to mention that. I was like, well, if you're just switch them if you want the speed.
Well, it's just I've seen nothing but creativity from Wilhite tonight.
So Springboro will get to start this drive out at the 30. 35. Correction. Let's see. Will we see a 6th touchdown in this first quarter?
That would be incredible, Jared. 50 seconds left.
There's
By
time.
the way tonight's going, it hasn't been anything surprising.
Let's see if Roundtree can hook up to Hughes for a long touchdown pass. Roundtree will
gonna be
actually pitch out to Standifer. Standifer is corralled at the 37.
That was a tackle by number 52, Joel Elder. City Barbecue replay. See a little pitch out to Standifer.
I think that's the shortest play by either team so far. Gain of 3 on the play, 2nd and 7. 25 seconds left. This will
There's
probably
absolutely an island by Chris Hughes, and
Roundtree's going to keep it. Roundtree rolling. He has enough for a first down out to the 46.
that's going to be a first down. And we saw, the toughness and durability of Roundtree running against Fairmont. He corralled a lot of yards and was the main reason Springboro almost won.
Roundtree back to pass. No, he's going to run
It's
it
the
right
same
up the
thing.
middle. And Roundtree will be tackled at the 49. And that'll be it for the first quarter. Miamisburg leads 21-14 in our City Barbecue Game of the Week for week number 7. What has surprised you so far in this first quarter by either team?
The very intricate play calling by Springboro's offense and head coach Ryan Wilhite. They've been keeping Miamisburg on their toes consistently throughout this one. And other than that, nothing about Miamisburg offense has surprised me. Just really getting back to their basics while throwing in a lot of more pass plays to Tyler Johnson. And if you confront me, Jared, if I'm the person you're asking, I think they need to pass more. As it's just been working really well for them. They know the passing game. It seems like something last year that got away from them, other than those deep passes to Tyler Johnson, but they know the ins and outs and the concepts of this pass game really well, and I think they need to stick with it. And more passing, honestly.
Looking at the stats on the scoreboard, Miamisburg has 234 total yards to Springboro's 179. Miamisburg has 116 passing yards and 115 rushing yards, 43 passing yards, and 139 rushing yards by the Panthers. 5 yards worth of penalties for the Vikings, 15 for the Panthers. And neither team has had a turnover yet.
So very quick quarter in.
And a fall.
That's going to be another false start.
Let's see if they call it a false start or encroach. False start.
They already have 4 false starts tonight, man. So communication needs to be established, man. That needs to be the biggest thing after this first half.
I think that's what Wilhite's going to talk to about.
You see number 84 Hughes in the slot. It's not going to matter, though. As Roundtree will
keeps it.
Excellent play off the edge by number 16, Jackson Myers. Tremendous play. As you can see on the City Barbecue replay, Myers comes from that outside linebacker spot, reads the fake to Yates, and hops on Roundtree instantly. And this up-tempo offense will bring us to 3rd down already. Roundtree going to Yates.
Yates.
He's stopped immediately by Jackson Myers and Cameron Moore. Roundtree getting the call from the sideline. And it looks like they're definitely going for the punt here. That's going to be a 4th and 5. And I would do it too. Jared, you got to think about how different the game would be if that fumble actually went through.
It would, well, Miamisburg might have another touchdown on the screen, as you're going to see number 99, Connor Luxick, on the punt.
Luxick with the punt.
Luxick, a great booming punt. Bounces at the 20.
Inside the 20 if no one grabs it.
Rolls down to the 10. Rolls down to the 9
it's
and
gonna be at
the
the
8.
13. Oh, at the
Wrong
8.
line mark, Jeff.
Yeah.
Let's see. So he punted that from the 40. So let's see. That's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 62 yards with a bounce and roll, maybe. Not bad.
Good punt for the kid.
Tonight's MVCC High School Football Game of the Week, powered by City Barbecue. Remind you, catch tonight's game, powered by City Barbecue, on Spectrum Cable Channel 21 or MVCC.net. Use the hashtag City Barbecue Replay.
Vongsy going to bring it back in dangerous territory here. Vongsy drops back, though. That's going to Johnson. That's going to Johnson. He has the stride.
Johnson's at the 50,
Johnson
40,
has
30.
open field, and he is gone for a 92-yard touchdown.
92-yard touchdown reception from Vongsy to Johnson.
This kid is insane.
No penalties on the field.
The coverage was so lackadaisical, too. As you see on the edge, Springboro's corner are dropping back about 3 steps and then waiting for Johnson to curl, and he never curled. He kept going.
Never curled. He took it out. Up the numbers.
As you can see on the City Barbecue replay,
7,
and all you can see is Johnson running.
7 catches, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 30.3 yards an average a catch.
And after those stats, let me remind you folks, it's the second quarter, the beginning of the
First
second
play
quarter.
of the second quarter for the Vikings offensively.
Absolutely ridiculous play for Tyler Johnson tonight. And all of Johnson yards carry over to Tate Vongsy's yards because he has passed it to no one else tonight.
Yeah, so Vongsy 7 out of 8 for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns.
If I'm Chanel, I'm waiting until I get a double coverage on number 13 to stop throwing to him. This has been insanity tonight. 28-14 already. 10-19 left in the second quarter. Very exhilarating game so far. Touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown.
6 touchdowns with 10-19 left in the second quarter. If you told me that before we started tonight's game, I wouldn't have believed you.
Colin Dillon here to kick off. He's going to have a sore leg after tonight, Jared.
All those extra points and kickoffs. Dillon's kick is off, going towards the sideline, fielded at about the 25. Standifer carries it. He's out to the 40, maybe out across the 45.
And they're going to spot it out at the 43.
43.
Okay. So pretty solid return, even though they kicked it short.
Especially when you're not expecting to get the return. Now you look at the stats. Miamisburg now has 333 yards total.
So that was a
one play, 92 yards.
quick little cliff there.
Uh-huh.
Roundtree taking the snap.
Roundtree throw the bullet to the outside to Hughes. And Hughes upended, twirled around by number 1, Jay Vinson.
Very good tackle
Nice
there by
open
the
field
senior defensive
tackle.
back. And that's a guy that's not very easy to tackle either. One of the top receivers in GWAL, Chris Hughes. He was one of the keys to the game, and with very good reason.
Roundtree hands off to Standifer. Standifer almost tripped up, but Standifer has the first down and into Vikings territory down to the 44.
And another dominant tackle by Jay Vincent just wrestles him to the ground immediately.
Joel Elder checks into the game for Kyle Kanda in this. And watch Standifer. He's almost tackled there by number 42 by the shoelaces, Dylan Grimm. But Vincent, another nice open field tackle. Yates at the running back position, and Yates keeps it. Yates, first down to the outside. First down, Yates, and Yates is going to have himself a 44-yard touchdown
this
run.
This kid's speed is legit.
Is it too legit to quit? It's just,
if I'm
it's
coaching
only going to be 4 or 5 plays, and it's going to be a touchdown.
If I'm the coach, it is too legit to quit. William Yates just gets the sideline, and he runs with it. And if you're an avid MVCC viewer, you know about Yates. JV basketball I brought up earlier for Springboro. We saw a little showcase of his quickness during those JV games, but never really got to see that straight line speed until this year. And he's only a sophomore.
The kick is up and good. Connor Luxick with his 3rd extra point of the night.
So big play, Palooza. Miamisburg will get it back, and we might have, the first possession of this quarter might have been the only empty possession in the whole game, Jared. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
This is huge. I wasn't expecting this much of a scoring onslaught, blitzkrieg, whatever you want to call it by either team. But this is just leaving you speechless.
Well, it's good for the player statistics, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Did I tell you I was starting Tyler Johnson in fantasy tonight? And Tate Vongsy.
It's a knee slapper, Jared. So here we go.
Matthew
Freshman
DePore.
kicker.
I don't know why you would not put Luxick out there. He had a 60-some yard punt. I think he could be able to kick it off a tee pretty good.
I don't know. DePore has shown some power early this season. So
this one's kicked trailing to the sideline, but fielded at about the 9. Is that Johnson?
That's Clark.
That's Clark.
Tony Clark has it.
Clark breaks a tackle, and Clark tackled at the 25-yard line, and the Vikings will have 75 yards.
He went diagonal for a while until someone was able to bring him down.
Do you want to – how many plays till Miamisburg scores? We've seen 1, we've seen 5, we've seen 8.
I'm going to go with 7.
7?
Go 7. What about you, Jared?
I'll say 4.
All right, 4. I know we were doing this now.
Might as well see who can be more accurate by the end of the night.
So here we go. Vongsy coming out.
You remember we did this last week, and
yeah,
Tony Clark had like a 40-yard touchdown run.
Very spectacular showing from Miamisburg so far. And
is that Yerkins with the carry up the middle?
That's going to go for about 2 yards.
Maybe 2, yeah. 29, Andrew Weedman, and number 65. Cameron Piper come up with the tackle for the Panthers. That was play number 1. I bet Springboro's defense forgot Miamisburg knew how to run the ball.
So then motioning out. We see that a lot this season.
Vongsy hands off to – no, Vongsy keeps it.
Perhaps a broken play there.
And Vongsy's hit hard for a loss of 2 on the play.
It didn't really seem like Tony Clark knew what was going on.
And it looked like number 57 comes up with the stop for the Panthers, Quentin Webb. And the Vikings are looking at their first stop of the night.
Wow. It's a very surprising 2-play series. I told you, Jared, they need to pass, man.
Yeah, this is play number 3.
Keep that passing game up.
And Chanel just called a timeout.
So maybe plotting to go back to number 13 here again? Who knows?
Tonight's MVCC High School Football Game of the Week is sponsored by Miami Valley Adapted Sports. MVAS is a Paralympic sports club that provides recreational and competitive sporting opportunities for individuals with physical disabilities. Visit MiamiValleyAdaptedSports.org for more information.
You can also catch tonight's game powered by City Barbecue on Spectrum Cable Channel 21 at noon tomorrow. Hashtag City Barbecue Replay. We've seen an absolute homecoming onslaught tonight, Jared, so far. 8 minutes left in this second quarter. It seems like the half should be over by now.
And we've got 49 points.
Definitely a change up from last week's game. Fairmont lets the clock tick, and they don't score really quickly.
But let's see out of the Vikings timeout.
The Vikings have scored more points this week in 13 minutes of gameplay than they did all of last week.
The last 2 weeks, they've scored more points tonight. Vongsy throwing it to Johnson, and it's intercepted. No, they completed it to Tony Clark.
Tony Clark caught it.
I didn't think Clark caught it. It looked like he come down. Weedman covered him up. But 4th and 1, let's see what the Vikings do. The Vikings are running the offense up there.
Oh, they're going to go for it pretty quickly, Jared.
4th and 1, this is Vongsy up the middle.
No
Vongsy up the
decision
middle,
here.
and he has about a gain of 4 on the play, actually.
What an outstanding push there by the offensive line. The offensive line for the Vikings there, the star player of that play. Led by number 55, center Adam Stebbing.
This is going to be hard. How are we going to narrow one player down at the player of the game later on tonight?
I have no idea, Jared.
I mean, Vongsy and Johnson's stats are virtually identical.
Clark with a quick spin move, but
maybe a gain of 1.
yeah, on a quick road to nowhere, maybe gets 1 or 2.
Ball comes out late. Weedman comes out of the pile with it, but whistle is already blown.
It's not going to mean anything. Yeah, it's going to mark him about a 2-yard run there. It's going to be 2nd and 8.
That's a very generous spot.
So stopping every run they throw their way so far.
That's why
This
they've been
quarter.
passing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need to go back to the passing game here. But I'm not on this staff.
Second and 8 from the 40.
And again, Tyler Johnson will be the only receiver for the Vikings offense. Lining up with Max Yost. Hasn't been a very favorable matchup for Springboro so far tonight.
Number 55 has to check out of the game. And Adam Stebbins for equipment malfunction. Number 62.
What happened?
Kyle, I think his shoulder pad was cut. Maybe he's bleeding, and maybe they saw a cut. Yeah, you see there, they're bandaging him up on the sideline. But he'll have to at least sit out for this play. He'll be ready to come. He's standing right there next to the coach, ready to go in. He's like, come on, coach, put me back in. Senior, or not senior night, but big rivalry, homecoming night. Vongsy back
Vongsy
to pass.
to Johnson. Oh, great coverage by the safety. Josh Collins was there, and they finally put someone back there to help Max Yost out. The poor kid was getting torched tonight.
Well, let's see if we can see a replay of the end of that and see if
Johnson
Collins
had it in his hands. I think
if Collins poked it out or if Johnson just dropped it.
Collins definitely altered the play, no doubt. Johnson had it in his hands, but that over-the-top coverage can make the biggest difference sometimes. And as soon as Vongsy faked the handoff,
you saw Collins
yeah,
running
Collins
right to there.
sniffed the play action. He looked directly to number 13 and ran as hard as he could back to that play.
And now number 67 of the Vikings, Cody Gullett has to come out for some reason. So 6:03 left in this first half. 3rd and 8 from the 40.
What is happening?
I don't think they know. And Steve Chanel just burned his final timeout.
Goodness gracious. That was a disaster.
3rd and 8. What do you draw up here if you're the Vikings? How do you pick this first down up?
Curl. That's been the answer all night. Why not?
Yeah, the Panthers have really blocked this or stopped the run so far this second quarter.
Yeah, I say a deep curl to Johnson. I say he goes out all the way to the first down marker and stops right there. Because the timing on the curl route Vongsi and Johnson have is almost flawless. So I think you go to your go-to play right here, Jared. Or a pitch to Myers. That has worked a lot this year, too.
I don't think we've called Myers' name offensively tonight except for the starting lineup. But the Panthers need a stop here. They find themselves down 7 as Miamisburg has been able to score on every drive.
Well, they had the opportunity to start him on a 4th down, but again, excellent job by Adam Stebbins, the senior center. Huge push on that QB sneak earlier. And you'll see starting center Stebbins back out here as well. No more equipment malfunctioning.
Oh, he was bleeding. They had to bandage him
Oh,
up.
okay.
Yeah, he only had to come out to get a Band-Aid on.
Got you.
Vongsi back to pass. Vongsi throws a screen to Yerkins. Yerkins has blockers out in front, and Yerkins will
He's
be
not gonna
about
get it.
2 yards short. Decision time now for the Vikings. Do you go for it, or do you wind the clock and let it tick all the way down?
So as you've seen on the barbecue replay,
Tackle by
good block by Doc Lanehart out on the edge, but didn't have a good enough seal on him. And Weidman was able to get off of it and tackle him. So it's going to be 4th and 2 here on the 49.
With how your defense is, they're going to punt it.
Oh.
And it's a high snap over Dylan's head. Dylan picks it up, and Dylan,
Dylan,
it's
it's blocked by Weidman.
Number 6 picks it up for the Vikings, or Panthers. That's Mike Knock. Everything went wrong for the Vikings on that play, and Springboro's special teams defense comes up huge with a blocked punt by Mike Knock.
Miamisburg with their hands on their head, wondering what. Wow.
Let's see where it went wrong.
This game
Ceases yet to amaze me.
This rivalry every year, Jared. It's just a spectacular game.
Roundtree fakes the pitch. Roundtree has the outside, he has the edge. Roundtree, hard hit.
And that's the
That's
kind
number
of
12.
toughness.
Number 12, Brant Profit.
It's the kind of toughness you want from your quarterback. Profit did not hit him. He hit Profit.
Brant Profit got hit.
Yeah, if you see on the City Barbecue replay, Roundtree runs straight in to Brant Profit.
Standiford's carry goes up the middle.
It's going to be 2nd to goal here.
2nd and goal from the 4. Springboro looking to tie it up.
Standifer up the middle.
Gets the carry. Standifer has a 4-yard touchdown run, and we're an extra point from being tied up at 28.
So Brant Profit misses the tackle as Standifer cuts inside.
I think he's still seeing stars from that hit by Roundtree.
As you see on the City Barbecue replay,
Standifer
touch just
goes
inside, right before Profit touches him. I guess you'll see it again.
Luxig's on to taking one more practice swing.
And this is to tie up the game, folks. Here with 4:29 left in the 2nd quarter. Luxig's kick is
up.
That's good.
But are you going to doubt it? The only way Luxig's kick will not be good is if Miamisburg falls or gets offsides and blocks it. 28-28. 4.5 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. 56 points scored in the first half. The way these two teams come into this game, I didn't think it was going to be this high scoring between the two.
Well, this rivalry should shock no one, as Springboro has had the upper hand.
Springboro has won
For the
10
past
out
10
of the
years.
10 out of the last 11.
Yeah.
Miamisburg had Big win 2 years ago at the closing of Harmon Field. 35-32 winning that one. That was our game of the week. I don't really see how Springboro student section can taunt Miamisburg. Miamisburg's was been dominating this game basically, except for two mistakes.
Well, they had a 360 flip on Miamisburg's offense. Springboro has coming out to seize the run. I think they're planning to make them pass here and get some over-the-top coverage on Tyler Johnson to kind of limit their offensive options.
Tony Clark catches this ball at the 5. Clark's running up steam with a full head, and he's out to the 30.
So a willful run back there by Clark. Pretty solid field position here on the 30. They're going to spot it at the 29.
So a return of about 14 on the play.
We'll see if Miamisburg can make it. It's going to make any adjustments now here. Springboro, they could not get past the 40 on this team, man.
So far in the second quarter, no.
Had that big play by Johnson, but other than that, nothing stewing for the Vikings.
Vongsy hands off to Clark. Clark cuts it back in. Clark out to about the 40. He
Clark
has
is
the first
still
down,
on his
feet. Clark out past midfield to the 49 in the Panthers territory. Clark takes about a 5-yard gain and makes it a 20-yard run.
And runs like that are
Watch the ability to spin move.
Weidman actually grabs the ball. He grabs the ball and
He
Clark
was running backwards for about 4 yards.
Thank goodness. And those are the kind of runs that you look at as a Miamisburg fan and you want to savor. Because after this kid leaves, like he was an identity, the identity of this team. And after Tony Clark leaves, it's tough to imagine.
Double dose of Yerkins.
Very tough to imagine. Clark gets it again.
Oh no, that's Clark.
That's going to be about a 5-yard run there.
43 with the tackle for the Panthers. Joe Polking.
So 2nd and 5 here.
Tony Clark has 5 carries for 43 yards.
8 carries.
Oh, that's an 8. 8 carries for 43 yards. 5.3 yards a carry and a touchdown. Not bad numbers.
Not at all.
Especially seeing since Tyler Johnson has more than 200 yards receiving.
So number 11 for the Vikings here, Drew Berry coming on in place of Tyler Johnson.
And Yerkin, is that Clark?
Oh, wow.
Clark gets pushed back.
That's number 43 for the Panthers.
Polking again.
So a senior linebacker.
Watch Clark get, he's like, boom, nope, you're not going anywhere. They actually credit that with a yard gain.
Very
somehow.
aggressive tackle at that.
3rd and 3, 2:40 left in the first half. Vongsy running into the sideline with the play. This is by far 4-down territory if you're the Vikings.
And Johnson will be out wide. Throwing to Johnson.
Going Johnson on the far sideline. Johnson has
overthrown by about a yard or two by Tate Vongsy.
Now you scratch your head. You just saw what your punter just did. Do you send Colin Dillon back out there or do you send Vongsy?
I'm sending Vongsy. The offense has worked more than my special teams tonight. I'm no doubt I'm going with Vongsy here, and I'm going Clark to the left side.
This is an excellent decision. You saw them the last time the long snapper just put it over the Dillon's head. As you hear the cowbells erupt over Holland Field. 4th and 3, 2:21 left. Johnson comes all the way down, is on down here against Yost.
And
Clark with a pitch out
side.
to the out. Clark has the first down.
I caught it, Jared.
And Clark pushed out at about the 25-yard line.
I said Clark to the outside, left side.
First down, Vikings.
Tony Clark will get that first down. And as you see, one of the biggest adjustments that's going to change this game for good is Wilhite putting Collins at the safety and shading towards number 13 every single time he goes out there. And Johnson will not come out as they will go running formation this time. Colin Dillon will be the receiver.
Joey Yerkins checks into the game. And John Yerkins keeps it. And John Yerkins erupts through for another first down to the 12-yard line.
And another willful run by one of the big two.
I think by the end of the season, we can turn Miamisburg's big 3 into a big 4.
Big 4. I wouldn't doubt it. John Yerkins has been very, very impressive this year.
7 carries, 78 yards, 11.1 a carry, and a touchdown.
And he's preparing to take over for Tony Clark, man.
Drew Berry checks out, goes to the top of the screen. Vongsi hands off to Clark, cuts back in. Clark spin move.
Great spin move by Tony Clark, and he's still going. They're going to whistle it down, though.
I think they're going to call him down at the 15.
Yeah.
So about a gain of 2, and the clock continues to run. 2nd down and 8 with 1:30 left in the first half.
Vikings always seem to pull through on goal line situations.
Yeah, once the Vikings get into the red zone, they always seem to be able to score.
Not the same up with 2-point conversions, however.
Vongsi going deep to the sideline. Is that Barry?
Oh, my
what
God!
A catch for a touchdown.
Oh, my God!
That is Tyler Johnson with his 3rd touchdown catch of the game. Watch this replay and him go over Yost. Let's see if we can see a replay of that at the end and slow it down.
To heck with the safety. Bring the safety over. They need another guy covering number 13. Tyler Johnson's game has been outstanding. 3 touchdowns, 225 yards, 8 receptions, 28.1 yards a catch.
And Springboro calls a timeout.
I repeat that, 28.1 yards a catch.
Vongsi's 10 out of 13, 200 and, what was that, 25?
39.
39 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. They're still looking through the rule book.
What are they looking for?
Here it is. Let's see.
It's on the City Barbecue replay.
That is not a touchdown. He does not come down in bounds with it. But there's no challenge in high school football. You can't ask the referee to look at that. They signal touchdown.
Can they legally consider that not a touchdown?
I don't know. All referees signaled the touchdown. I mean, the referees have until the next play is hiked to make a change, but
I don't think they can legally look at reviews, can they?
well, they don't have any way to review it. They're just going by with what each referee saw on the field. And
I feel like they
I
should
want
know
to know
about this
if
stuff.
they know the touch. If it's not a touchdown, why did the referee that's standing at the goal line signal a touchdown? He's the one looking right at it.
He was right next to it.
It's not a touchdown on the field. We saw in the replay it's not a touchdown. But I don't think the ref should not be able to take a touchdown off the field that they signaled a touchdown.
So it is a touchdown.
The
Okay.
ref signaled touchdown, even though it wasn't.
Well, I just lost 5 minutes of my life. Thank you, referees.
And you saw Chanel had the kids out here running high leg kicks just to keep them warmed up. So the touchdown is good, even though he comes down out of bounds without it.
If
You see
they're
there.
rewinding it.
Rewind it a little bit more. He comes down. That's not a catch.
He doesn't get one. He doesn't even get a foot down. See, if you zoom in,
He comes out of bounds. No catch.
no catch at all. Both feet are out of bounds, clearly.
Is it Tyler Johnson's birthday? Because he just got a gift. The kick is up and good by Dylan, but it's not a touchdown. So I don't. That was 7 minutes ago.
Yeah, wow. I don't know. Why did they take that long if it's just going to be a touchdown?
I don't
wouldn't
know.
have been mad if it was reversed because it was right.
Right. It would have been right if it was reversed, but maybe, I mean, you cannot, I mean, you have until the next play is snapped to look at it or to talk about it and huddle up, and they did. But
Well,
I don't know.
I have no clue what that was, but here we are, 35-28 Miamisburg, a minute left into the first half. And what an exhilarating half as it has been. It's a total of 9 touchdowns now in the first half alone.
And we still got 2 more quarters to go. So
this rivalry finds something to throw at you every single
year. It doesn't matter what happens. Every year there's going to be some wrench thrown into the mix. Excellent work by our replay person down in the truck on that one.
So
Another
Standifer,
short kick. Standifer can hit someone. He's going. And he's out to the 35 with 54 seconds left.
great tackle there by number 7 from Miamisburg, Cameron Sloan.
But now the Vikings defense comes on the field, and Springboro, this is where Springboro needs to score here to get that touchdown, and then you have the chance to score as you get the ball to start the second half. Roundtree fakes the handoff. He's hitting Hughes on the seam up the middle.
Hughes is open.
Hughes has a
Gigantic seam down the field.
Hughes is at the 20, 15, 10.
Hughes has a touchdown.
And Hughes and Springboro answer. One play, 65-yard touchdown catch and run by Chris Hughes.
Outstanding route running by Eric Hughes, feeling out the defense and just slipping down that seam, as you see on the City Barbecue replay.
This game is finding ways to leave everyone speechless, play after play.
So that is the 10th touchdown of the first half.
This has to be. I'm looking up the records for OHSAA at halftime.
Wow.
Luxix on to attempt his 5th extra point of the game. High snap, kicks up and good. 41 seconds left. Miamisburg's getting the ball back, but Chanel looks very livid and wanting to know why Springboro got to score on one play.
You said it at the beginning of the night, Jared, that these defensive coordinators are not going to be happy.
Each team has now scored on one-play drives. Miamisburg, a 92-yard catch and run, and Springboro right there, a 65-yard
And
catch
Chanel
and run.
is not satisfied at all.
He's
distraught.
Oh, well, I know what that he just said there, and I can't repeat that one.
Between the refs and his defense,
He's probably still mad about that fumble in the first quarter, too.
Steve Chanel is just pacing up and down the sideline.
He's not even looking at it. He's not watching the play. It seems like Springboro Panthers are the only team that can get under his skin. He was almost ejected last year in this game down at Springboro. 41 seconds left. You have to figure somebody has to maybe get a stop.
So a great kickoff there.
Tony Clark fields it at about the 6. Clark's running to the right of the field, now cuts back across. Clark's upended at the 15. And the 15-yard line is where the Vikings will start this drive with 34 seconds left.
Don't say anything too soon, as earlier we saw a 92-yard receiving touchdown by Tyler Johnson, and we've been seeing plays by this kid all night.
Are we going to see an 85-yard touchdown right here?
I don't know, Jared. If I'm Springboro, I'm putting 3 guys on Tyler Johnson.
There is a flag on the field, by the way. I had that one come in late. and it's against Springboro, so it's a 10-yard penalty. Nope, it's an unsportsmanlike penalty. 15-yard penalty against the Panthers, and this ball is at the 30 now for the Vikings. Miamisburg does not have any timeouts. Vongzi runs in with the play. We'll be able to tell what Miamisburg's going to do after this first play. If it's going to be a Clark run, they're just going to sit on the ball till halftime.
And
Vongzi,
they're not going to sit on.
No, he does. Clark with a draw up the middle.
Good draw. That's Yerkins.
Oh,
actually.
Yerkins will draw up the middle, and he did not get anywhere near out of bounds like he wanted to.
And they have no timeouts left, and so I think they're going to let this one tick here.
And I don't know if the replay won't get it, but Max Yost just undercut, almost chop blocked Tyler Johnson out of bounds down here at the bottom of the screen, and Johnson came up pointing fingers.
That's not going to make Chanelli any more happier than he is.
And Miamisburg is not going to hike the ball once again this half. So
2-1.
That'll be the end of an exciting, thrilling first half of our Week 7 football game of the week. Miamisburg and Springboro tied at 35 on Miamisburg's homecoming night. We're going to see if we can find any stats of this game so far. And now we're going to throw it down to the bands, and we'll be back after halftime.
Please remember there are concession stands and restrooms on both sides of the stadiums. Please utilize both concession stands. Tonight for halftime, the Miamisburg High School Marching Band will be joined by several MHS band alumni in a very special presentation. In light of the recent events in our country, we would like to welcome the wonderful fans of both Miamisburg and Springboro in attendance tonight to join us in a special sing-along as we play music celebrating the greatness of the United States of America. Words for each of the songs will be displayed on the Holland Field scoreboard. Our first selection tonight was written in 1940 by Al Jacobs and Don Ray and celebrates the feeling we all have for the red, white, and blue. Please join us for This Is My Country. Serving in World War I in 1918 when he penned what has become one of the most inspiring American anthems of all time. Please join the band in singing this stirring rendition of God Bless America. Football game tonight, we would like everyone to stay here and watch the Miamisburg Marching Band performing their competition show, which is based on the city of Las Vegas. Tonight and for the rest of the season, the Viking Band will proudly wear red ribbons on their uniform to honor both the victims and the first responders of last Sunday's tragedy. We hope that you will all stay after the game for the students' performance. American anthem that needs no introduction. Please join us for Catherine Bates and Samuel Ward's America the Beautiful.
Hello and welcome back to the second half of our MVCC Game of the Week, week number 7. It is currently tied 35 apiece after an exhilarating first half. The Vikings and Panthers are knotted up somehow in a lot of explosive plays. Jeff, you have some stats from the first half for us?
Well, as far as the quarterbacks go, Jared, efficient play all around. Roundtree, 6 for 6 with 116 yards passing, 2 passing touchdowns, 41 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown. Bongzi, 10 of 13, 239 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns, 18.4 yards a pass. And rushing, he had 35 yards and 2 touchdowns. As far as for the running back, Standiford, 8 attempts for 89 yards and a touchdown. And Yerkins, 82 yards and a touchdown. Clark, 58 yards and a touchdown. A very efficient play on both sides. And obviously you know about the huge game from Tyler Johnson, 8 receptions, 225 yards and 3 touchdowns. Outstanding tonight. And on the Springboro side, yeah, Hughes with a huge play before the half, 86 yards and a touchdown on 3 receptions. Standifer on a reception for 14 yards. And Yates, 2 interceptions and 16 yards. So here we go. Colin Dillon going to kick it off here.
Fielded at about the 22, catch and run by number 20. And And number 20 has the running back to the punter to beat, and he will pushed out of bounds. That is number 20, I believe, Tim Kessaday.
And he's been targeted all day. Has never really done anything with any of the targets, but there you see some explosive play. Timmy Kessaday.
And Dylan just pushes him out on the Holland Field logo at about the 40-38.
Well, good for him. So Roundtree.
Standifer behind him. Hughes in the slot, third one in from the bottom of your screen. Roundtree fakes the pass. Standifer
So
draw up the middle, and Standifer runs
Oh my goodness!
Over. Who is that Viking that Standifer just plowed over?
I believe
That's Profit again.
It's number 12.
Yeah, watch this.
So a halfback draw. You see the same play earlier, and Standifer just levels Profit, who was earlier leveled by Roundtree, and Standifer takes the carry again.
And he about a gain of 5. Yerkins. Is that Profit with a tackle?
It's 52.
52.
Joel Elder.
So gain of 4. Second and 6.
So Roundtree will be in the gun again. Oh, no. Okay,
Yep.
Yates in the slot.
I'd say it's going to go to Standifer. Ball on the ground.
With the
Standifer.
toss.
Standifer will be close to a first down, but I think he's still a yard or two short.
And good tackle there by Dylan Wudke, junior defensive lineman.
Number 17, yep, Woodkey. 3rd and 3 from the 8-yard line. Definite, well, would you say definite 4-down territory when you got the leg of Luxick on your side if you're the Panthers?
I'm not stressed. I know I'm scoring
Another
here
low
no matter
snap,
what.
and Roundtree's being chased. Roundtree looking
He's
for
going to
someone,
plunge it in.
and he's going to punch it in for an 8-yard run on 3rd and 3 on a busted play.
And Roundtree processing all his options, going across, but excellent coverage by Miamisburg, and Roundtree just waits it out, is very patient, and gets in there.
I don't think that's a busted play. It looked like it was drawn up that way the whole way.
Huh. I think he decided just not to play, just not to pass it. Good decision, though, regardless of what was planned by Cameron Roundtree, and that'll bring on Luxick there for the extra point.
And Springboro leads for the first time tonight. Luxick's kick is up, good, and I think that's in the softball field. Luxick now makes his 7th extra point of the game. 10:34 left. Miamisburg finds themselves down for the first time tonight, which is not really something you thought we'd say when it's 42-35, and both teams have just they've delivered blow for blow and countered blow for blow.
Each offense has gone ballistic with one stop, and couldn't ask for anything more from a football game.
Let's see if we can find out how many yards they had at the half.
So Miamisburg.
Total yards, Miamisburg had 422 on 37 plays. Springboro had 322 on 24 plays. I think a 92-yard touchdown pass will help you in that case.
Also for Springboro, they have really good field position on the one failed Miamisburg drive where they blocked the punt.
The block punt by Mike Knock.
So here we go. DePore on the kickoff, and that's trailing towards out of bounds, and that's going to be out of bounds. It's going to be a flag.
Miamisburg will start this drive at 1st and 10 at the 35. I don't know what's going to come next. Granted, Johnson's out there. Let's see if they target Johnson.
Well, if anything, if the first half showed us anything, it's that Tyler Johnson
This is
could
Tyler
take over a
Johnson
game.
night. With how well he's performing, you thought it was Johnson bobblehead night.
200 receiving yards in one half with 3 touchdowns.
It's
incredible.
That's
For a high school game?
in one half, yeah. You don't see much you don't really see that 225 yards in a half in the professional level.
Vongzi hand off to Clark, and that's going to be stopped immediately.
I think they're going to mark him right at the line.
Forward progress will bring it back up to the line of scrimmage, though.
Mike Knock with the first one to make contact there. But on a night of where there's virtually been no defense, nice defensive tackle there.
It'll be Tyler Johnson, the wide receiver, who had so much success in the first half.
So Vongzi under center here on 2nd down and 10.
Vongzi with a
Double handoff.
You know, there you go.
Very good job of Springboro, all staying
Being able
home
to
there.
sniff that one out.
And
And-
all nine guys that were up there were in that pile, if you see on the City Barbecue replay.
Myers with the carry there for about a gain of 4. But I saw there at the end of the play, Max Yost and Tyler Johnson are still pushing and shoving after the play's called. Let's see if
Well, no doubt an intense battle. Yost has been getting burned all night. And if you need Josh Collins, number 11, out there to help him out.
you got to flip something.
Well, I'm going curl to Johnson here, if anything.
Tyler Johnson
Slant.
right across the middle,
Oh,
incomplete.
and he had it. He had it. Slipped out of his hands with contact.
Let's see if we can see replay. Yost comes up with a big play there.
Yeah, something we haven't said a lot tonight. Max Yost making a very, very good play on coverage. So 2nd 3 and out for Miamisburg, and this will be they'll be punting again.
Second time they've punted. You remember what happened the first time they punted? You've got, is that Hugh? Who's that back here returning for the Panthers?
It's number 11, Josh Collins.
Collins driving back, catches
First
it at the
successful
20 and
punt.
drops it. And Collins picks it up at the 20, and he's marked down at about the 18 is where the Panthers will start this drive. Excellent punt by Dylan. Not a bad one.
Very good punt.
Put a lot of rotation on that one to make.
Now here's Springboro's opportunity to get the game out of reach.
I don't think they'll be out of reach. Miamisburg, a team could be up 21, and then just like that, it'll change. Miamisburg was up 14 for a little bit in the first half, and Springboro came back with ease, but that was also off a blocked punt. Roundtree pass out to Yates, and Yates.
Great open field tackle by Cameron Sloan on the corner.
And he goes nowhere, maybe a gain of 1.
And if you don't give him any space, there's not much room to do anything. William Yates, we know his quick burst ability, but great play by Cameron Moore to just be there.
Hughes comes in motion from bottom to top of your screen. Hughes will stop and slot. And
Roundtree's
Roundtree's going to keep it right up the middle.
Roundtree has a seam down the middle. And
And-
Yerkins catches back up with him.
And Yerkins saves the touchdown for the Vikings.
Once again.
Roundtree. I figured this was going to be maybe like a 10, 12-yard gain. But look at number 71 for the Panthers. Aaron Irvin getting out there with leading the block and allowing Cameron Roundtree to go down deep into Viking territory. And Yates with a carry up the middle. And here comes Yates' explosiveness, and he blows through for about that might be a first down.
Jackson Myers on the tackle there. And they're going to mark it just short of a first down. Roundtree taking the snap.
Yates, flag, ball start.
Another one.
Fifth or sixth one already
That's fifth.
tonight.
It's the 5th false start they've called so far. Almost halfway through the 3rd quarter.
2nd and 6 now from the 28. And you hear the cowbell come over Holland Field once again. Standifer in the backfield with Roundtree. Roundtree hands off to Standifer, and Standifer hit
I don't think he gets it.
at the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1 on the play. Oh, gain of 3. 3rd and 3 from the 25. Miamisburg's defense needs to hold them to at least a field goal attempt here.
And they'll be looking for senior Joel Elder to step up like he has all night.
Roundtree keeps it to the outside. Roundtree has the first down.
Roundtree hustling to the outside, crossing the plane.
Number 49, Carter Brown, checks into the game for the Vikings. This is where the Vikings need to get a stop. Yates with the carry. Roundtree pulls it out. Roundtree seam up the
Play
middle.
action, and Hughes drops the
drops
touchdown.
Ooh.
One of the best wide receivers in G-Walk dropping a touchdown, not something you'll see very often.
I don't know. Maybe Prophet got a hand on it, and
As you see on the City Barbecue replay, Prophet
maybe
might
Prophet
have
got
stuck
a hand on it, but
last second.
still, it hit Hughes in the hands. You got to catch that.
Cam Roundtree has had a great game tonight. We haven't talked enough about his effort and toughness.
Roundtree fakes the handoff.
It's that same halfback draw we've seen so many times tonight.
Standifer hit hard from behind by number 48 of the Vikings, Jackson Gebhardt.
It's the third
Myers
time we've seen that play
Gebhardt.
tonight.
The previous 2 times it's went for touchdowns. So the Vikings must have saw that coming. 3rd and 3 from the 9.
And Hughes is alone outside with Jay Vinson. We'll see if they can get that targeted.
And Roundtree's going to keep it up the middle, and another false start against
Sixth
the Panthers.
false start. The 5th for the Panthers tonight.
I think that's 6 now.
Yeah, it's 5th for the Panthers.
No, I think it's 6 for them now. I don't think Miamisburg's been penalized by that yet.
Yeah, they have.
Okay.
It was early in the first quarter.
Oh. So 3rd and 8 from the 14. Clock still continuing to wind. 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
3rd and 8, Eric Hughes in the slot.
Nobody's really on him for about 6 yards. And Roundtree pulls it out.
Hughes, oh my goodness, overthrown by Roundtree.
And
Almost picked off by Yerkins.
Oh, is that which Yerkins was it?
That was John Yerkins
Okay.
in the City Barbecue replay.
Yeah, that's John Yerkins.
4th and 8, bring out Connor Luxick.
Connor Luxick.
He's made his past 8 field goals.
Luxick won the game for the Panthers last week. Only team so far to beat the Beavers of Beaver Creek. Kick is up. Kick is
Straight
good.
down the middle.
Connor Luxick with about a 34, 35-yard field goal maybe.
That's his 9th consecutive field goal in a row.
Now a 10-point game, 45-35, Springboro with 5:49 left in the 3rd quarter. So far this 3rd quarter has been kind of boring compared to the 1st quarter we saw.
Yeah, not a lot of activity
Defense
early
came
by the offense of Miamisburg. So I'm looking for, if I'm Springboro's defense, I'm looking for an early pass by Miamisburg.
To Johnson?
To Johnson, yeah. Who else? Unless it's a screen. The only passes that were caught by someone who wasn't Tyler Johnson, they were both screens to each of the running backs.
For 15 yards. Looks like, what was that, Clark and who else is that back there to return the kick?
It's 25, Cameron Kirkpatrick.
Okay.
And they're going to have Luxick out this time to kick off.
Oh, and I'm going to assume this one's in the end zone. Onside, maybe? It wouldn't surprise me. Nope.
Connor Luxick with a strong kickoff. Back to the 1. He's going to be in the end zone.
So a touchback.
It's going to bring the Miamisburg offense. We've seen really
Somewhat stalemate so far this second half.
The only time they really got stopped was first.
They got stopped when the first half when they had that punt blocked.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, they've been able to move the ball well until that last drive.
So we'll see what happens here.
Johnson's out
Be
at the top of
interesting.
your screen. Yost covers him.
You don't see Collins. Oh, Collins starting to shade there now.
And Yerkins gets the carry up the middle for about a gain of 7 or 8 on the play.
He just burst through the first line.
Oh,
of
look at
defense.
he planted that hand down and pushed himself for about another 2-yard gain after that.
Great effort by
Heads-up play
Yerkins.
by Yerkins. Awareness that he's not down.
What I'm looking for here is for Miamisburg to display more than one receiver to kind of get that. Because if you look before every play, Collins, the safety, drifts and shades towards Johnson.
Clark with the carrier. Or Clark with the carry. It's enough for a first down out to the 29. Tackled by number 65, it looks like, initially by the Panthers, Cameron Piper. But now it looks like Miamisburg's going to try and use the clock in their favor. Limit the time Springboro has, but your defense has to get a stop. If you're going to try and run clock, your defense needs to come out and get a 3 and out.
Vongzi with the pitch to Clark.
Clark cuts it back in. Clark
Oh.
spin move and tackle at about the 40. So about a gain of 8 on the play.
That was number 23, Peyton Standifer on.
Watch Clark. Oop, I'm going to cut it back in.
Beautiful spin move on Weedman.
Spin move on Weedman. 2nd and 2 from the 40. Under 4.5 left in the third. And Vongzi comes onto the field with the play.
Vongzi under center.
Vongzi fakes the handoff, and he's going to keep it. And he
That's gonna
should have
be a
enough
first
for a
down.
first down. Well,
No, they're marking it right past the first down.
okay. Well, you saw one the ref on the close side closest to us. They were standing at 2 different yards. But it's enough for a first down to move the ball out to the 44, 43. And now Shadell sends Johnson into the game. But like you were saying, the way that Collins has been shadowing over to Johnson's side before every play, you've got to try to get Quinn Coonley or Jackson Myers some sort of motion to the other side. And Clark will be close to the midfield. Gain of about 4 on the play. 65 Piper with a tackle.
They're going to mark it just before the 49.
So gain of 6 on the play.
2nd and 4 for the Vikings coming out here.
I don't like this play calling style by Miamisburg. You're taking too much time off the clock, and you guys are not winning or not down by 1 possession.
And here we go, that 2 receiver look that I mentioned earlier.
Vongzi back, throws a screen.
Coonley.
Is that Coonley? Yeah,
Yep.
Here's Johnson. They're going back to attacking that zone curl. Attack the zone with the curl is what showed the Vikings so much success. And you see, who is that? 20? That is 20, what is it, Quesade?
Yeah.
Kind of got tripped up there as he saw Coonley come back to the curl.
So if they continuously send out 2 receivers like that, that's going to not only advance their game further, but also give way more space to Tyler Johnson.
Yerkins gets the carry up the middle.
And they read that run all the way.
Still a gain of 4.
They were hitting the film room this week, Jared. They've stopped almost every single different run look that Miamisburg has thrown at them.
What they do, watch film at the half, because Miamisburg was somewhat getting those holes to open up in the first half.
Well, as you see, if you look before the first play at the top of the The safety, Josh Collins, number 11, came up into that box. So still an 8-man box. Vongzi passing.
Going to Coonley. And
Oh,
Coonley has
great
the
catch.
Great catch and nice footwork by Coonley on the far sideline.
Coonley was walking the line there. Fantastic catch by the senior there.
We could see a slow down replay. See how close see how good his footwork was on the sideline. It'll be 1st and goal to go from the 5.
So the first other actual wide receiver to catch it tonight other than Johnson, and he has 2 receptions on this drive, 2 pretty big ones, must I say.
But look at Johnson. Nope, Clark's going to get the carry. Clark up the middle. Clark dives for the touchdown and dives from the 4 and gets it.
With a Springboro defender on his waist, as a City Barbecue replay shows. So he escapes the first leg tackle, walks over it, and then Cam Angleka clings on and almost drags him down.
Dillon's on to attempt the extra point to make this a 3-point game. Kick is up and good. Now the Springboro Panthers lead by 3, 45-42. 1:56 left in the 3rd quarter.
And that's the spark that the Vikings needed to rekindle there. And I believe that their offense is running back at full force, Jared. They showed Tony Clark's current stats on the screen: 16 carries, 84 yards, 2 touchdowns. That is his 14th on the season.
Still any idea who your player of the game is yet?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It depends on who wins, honestly.
That's true, but, I mean, so far Johnson's been shut out this second half.
So far. I don't know. I feel like 200 yards and a half is too, what can overcome that, Jared? It's going to take a lot for Tyler Johnson not to be the player of the game for Miamisburg.
Whatever team wins on what if someone wins on a blocked field goal? Or since Michigan and Michigan State play this week, what about that blocked punt Michigan State scored on 2 years ago?
So Weedman's the player of the game because of the block punt?
No, that's Knock. Knock blocked it, or it got kicked right into his gut. So Dillon on. I was waiting for Crazy Train to go over. So 45-42, and Dillon kicks this ball off a high squib, recovered by number 2, and he's tackled at about the 32-yard line.
That was number 7, Cameron Sloan.
Oh, that was 7? No, that is number 2.
That's number 7. You didn't see that?
I saw 2.
I did not see that, Jared. It's okay.
It was number 2, Ronnie Arthur.
Whatever. We're just going to have to watch the game together.
Wait, you said it was
Remember, 149.
You said it was Cameron Sloan?
Yeah.
That's Miamisburg's roster you're looking at.
That's probably why. What do you mean? Miamisburg made the tackle.
Oh, I thought you were. I was talking about who returned it.
Oh.
Who were you? You talking? Did he get the tackle?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, we're both right. Jake Wade.
Hughes on the reception. Pretty good gain real quick.
That's enough for a first down. Moving the chains. Hughes almost looks like he's offsides down here.
So
Roundtree keeps it up the middle, and Roundtree's tackled at about the 46.
option 6. Picks up about 4 there. It's going to be 2nd and 6. Yep.
So let's see, you've got Casey Quigley at the top of the screen, William Yates in the slot, and Chris Hughes down here at the bottom of the screen, and Standifer in the backfield. Standifer gets the carry, and he has a first down, and he erupts
burst through the linebacker corps.
Through for a 54-yard touchdown run for the Panthers. There's no flags on the field.
Just a spectacular run by Peyton Standifer.
He looked like he was stopped, but he blows through John Yerkin's tackle, and the afterburners come on, and he erupts for a 56-yard touchdown run.
Jared, that is 13 touchdowns in this game, and the third quarter's almost over. Still got a quarter of football to play. It is 51-42. We might be in the 60s by the end of this game, man.
By the end of the game, Springboro could still score before the first quarter or third quarter ends. You never know what's going to happen. This game is ridiculous. Luxic's extra point is up and good. What is that? His eighth?
Eighth of the year, I believe. I don't know.
I wasn't excellent in math class.
Oh, are you talking about
eight
Luxic?
extra point.
Yeah, that's I think. Yeah, that's a seventh.
Seventh.
If they had 55, it'd be.
Oh, that's right. The field goal threw me off. Whew. Back to a 10-point game. 1:03 left in the third quarter. How do the Vikings respond, or what do they have to draw up?
I don't know, man. Honestly, just do what you do. Well, the two receiver set that I brought up last drive was working pretty well. So I don't know. We'll see what they get going. Coonley got a couple good receptions. Hopefully that'll carry over for the Miamisburg Vikings. So Luxic, as Matthew DePore, got all the kickoffs in the first half, and Luxic will get this one. It seems to just kick a little bit further, just a little bit.
Yeah, right into the back of the end zone.
It didn't quite get to the back of the end zone.
Let's see if he takes a little bit off. He takes a little bit off, and this one's fielded at about the 2. That's Cameron Kirkpatrick. Cameron Kirkpatrick still on his feet out to the 25.
He's chugging. He's still chugging, Jared.
He's still going out to the 27.
Good return by Kirkpatrick.
And an excellent push by the other 10 Vikings on the field.
So here we go, this dangerous Vikings offense back on the field once again. Down by 10, they have to have at least a minimal sense of urgency. What do you think here, Jared?
You would think. I mean, you're down 10. It's not one score, it's 2.
I think I'm focusing more on the defensive side because you know what your offense is capable of, but you just got to stop Springboro from scoring, man.
And so far, Springboro's only been stopped one drive.
You're right, Jared. It might come down to who has the ball last.
Yerkins gets the carry, and he goes absolutely nowhere, maybe even goes backwards.
Mike Knock on the stop.
Mike Knock named. Oh, and who's down for the
That's
Vikings?
their starting center.
55, Adam Stebbins.
And he is limping. He is not looking good.
Senior offensive and defensive lineman, 5'9", 225 pounds, comes up limping, very gingerly walking.
Well, he's been really good so far for the majority of this season. And he cannot put any pressure on that ankle. He's trying.
Grimace. Everybody gives him a hand off the field.
First fans of the game are Wyatt Rose and Lana Hilty.
Let's see who his replacement is. .62 is his replacement, Kyle Candace. Let's see if they put somebody over him.
Vongsy dropping back.
Vongsy
it's over the top.
Lob over to Jackson Myers.
And way too, well, he was
Vongsy's
pressured there by Mike Knock. But
Vongsy's slow to get up, too.
oh, he's clutching his lower back. That's not pretty.
Vongsy was heavily pressured by number 65, Cameron Piper.
Overthrew about 4 yards there. It's not a pretty pass.
If he could have stepped into that throw, I think Myers would have his touchdown. But the pressure, Springboro did it right. Miamisburg brings in a new center. You put your two best people right over the nose of the center, and one of them got through to force a quick throw by Vongsy. 3rd and 10 here from the 27. Vongsy back to pass. hit.
Oh, my goodness. Cameron
Again.
Piper gets there again.
But Tony Clark comes up with a big catch up the middle of the field, down to about the 40 of the Vikings, or that would be the Panthers 40. Callum
Great
called
body
down to
control.
42.
By
what?
Tony Clark.
He's like, oh, gee. Clark kind of puts on the afterburners a little bit. 15 seconds left, and Chanel's just going to have the kids come over to the sideline. That'll be it for the third quarter in our City Barbecue Game of the Week, week number 7. Miamisburg finds themselves down 10, 52-42. What has to happen in this fourth quarter for Miamisburg to not only, they have to overcome 10 points, they have to get at least another stop by Springboro defensively, which they haven't been able yet to do tonight.
Just stop Springboro. Really, I can't comment on the Miamisburg offense. It has worked excessively, as you see on the scoreboard. They have 42 points. The only problem is
Springboro
the other team has 52. So it's just sometimes football isn't about what you're doing wrong.
94 points in
About
this
what you
game.
can do better.
If you told me there would be 94 points scored in this game, I would not have believed you.
It's not just this game, Jared. That was the third quarter. the third quarter just ended. We still got a whole quarter ahead of us in football.
I know. We're going to break 100 here tonight.
This rivalry is just so heated. You see players pushing and shoving, coaches getting emotional. This is exactly what you want to see out of Springboro and Miamisburg.
Miamisburg almost lost their head coach with 7 minutes left in the first quarter. But first and 10 from the 42 after the quarter change.
And so we'll see a 3-receiver set by Miamisburg.
Oh, my goodness. And they're going to pitch it to Yerkins.
Yerkins gets the outside edge.
Clark. Oh, no, it is Yerkins with a big first down run.
And a good push
Down to
out
the
by middle
30.
linebacker Peyton Standifer. So tricking them the first time I've seen all season, them come out with a 3-receiver set, and they do a halfback toss to the right side.
That's the first time I've seen them come out with it. I've seen them audible to it, but whew.
Well, solid play design there. Myers in the slot, Coonley and Johnson on the outside. And if they want to pass again, I think they need to pull out that. That was a really good setup.
Yeah, I think Vongzi went for the pitch too soon.
So play clock pretty low here at 8 right now. So run with Clark. Clark has a
gets
seam.
carry. Clark at the 15, down to the 10. Now about down to the 11. And you see there at the top of your screen, Cameron Roundtree out there playing corner.
I didn't see that.
Look there. Well, he's right there in the replay, but look at him. He's right there walking at about the
Well, I mean,
6.
he's a tough big body. You've seen what he's able to do with that body running the offense. As he just pounds straight up the middle sometimes. It's really hard to stop him.
I want them to put Johnson on him. Let those two fight for the ball.
Well, he has a lot of momentum, and there's no doubt about that.
First and 10 from the 12.
And Johnson's going to be alone on the left side of the field. They'll opt to run it with Clark.
And Clark will get down to the 10.
Gets eaten up pretty quickly. Tackle's going to go to number 91 of Springboro, Joey Brownstein, the senior.
Johnson was out there. It looked like he definitely had the height advantage on the receiver. 2nd and 8 from the 10-yard line at 11 minutes left. Roundtree off the field now. At some point, do you think Miamisburg would go for 2? Their woes against Fairmont last week. There you go. Look, Johnson, and he sees it. Vongzi targets Johnson.
Collins, excellent read.
Incomplete.
As you see,
and I think that'll be personal fouls on both Johnson and Yost. Both of them come up pushing and shoving.
Well, finally tonight, they have been going at it all night. Johnson winning the battle in the game, but Yost perhaps getting in his head a little bit.
See replay at the end of that play. Maybe see if there was some pushing and shoving between the two.
So Josh Collins, excellent help from the safety spot there.
Johnson gets up and pushes him.
So bad self-control by Tyler Johnson. Perhaps Max Yost all over him there. So good red zone coverage.
And Cameron Roundtree comes back into the game. Now it's going to be third.
Oh my, is that a 20-yard penalty?
15.
15-yard penalty.
They were at the 10, remember.
Yep.
It'll be second and 15.
Not sure how to calculate that.
It should be second down. The play should not count. It should be second, I believe. Third and 23 then. Depending on how much you get on this play, you need a field goal at some point in this game.
And there's going to be a flag, perhaps maybe a false start.
Timeout Springboro. Tonight's MVCC Game of the Week is sponsored by Miami Valley Adapted Sports. MVAS is a Paralympic sports club that provides recreational and competitive sporting opportunities for individuals with physical disabilities. Visit MiamiValleyAdaptedSports.org for more information.
You can also catch tonight's game powered by City Barbecue on Spectrum Cable, channel 21 at noon tomorrow. Hashtag City Barbecue Replay. Go to MVCC.social to find us all over social media. Follow us for updates all season long and join in the conversation using the hashtag City Barbecue Replay.
Also, check us out at MVCC.fans for real-time live scores of our MVCC Game of the Weeks. Engage now at MVCC.fans.
So Miamisburg very close to the goal line. It is shaping up to be an amazing game, Jared. Just blow after blow to each team.
If you're Miamisburg and you maybe get 10 to 12 yards on this play, line it up in the middle of the field, I say you have to take the field goal. You're down 10. A field goal is needed. I say you cannot gamble with going for it on fourth down. With 10:37 left, you cannot come away with no points.
Well, Colin Dillon has made what? He's made no.
He's not attempted a field goal this year.
Wow. So that's something to think about. Vongzi drops back. Down the middle, there's no one to cover Jackson Myers. And straight into the end zone, number 16 rolls.
Jackson Myers with a 25-yard touchdown on 3rd and 23. And just like that, the Vikings are back into this game now, down 52-48 with an extra point coming.
Awful mental mistake there by the Springboro defense, and they have to be drawing something up. After that play, something different. Come on. You know they're going to go to passing formations near the end of the game. They showed it last week. They showed it before. And you're not going to have a guy covering one of the receivers?
Kick is up and good.
I would understand if it was like a fullback or a halfback or someone else moved out there, but it was Jackson Myers, their third receiver, moved out. Such a success.
101 points.
We have officially crossed the threshold of 100 points here.
Century mark made. 101 points with 10:33 left.
Is it just me or does this rivalry get better every year, Jared?
Define better. I mean, 2 years ago, the storybook ending to Harvin Field after 98 years there. Last year, Springboro wins on a 2-point conversion with 2 seconds left to beat Miamisburg there. Miamisburg now down 3, 101 points, no defense tonight at all. I don't know, whichever team wins this game and the outcome, they deserve the win. Hard fought.
And I said last week that it was exemplified how you want high school teams to play a football game.
Well,
my statement is repaved over this game. This has been a fantastic output by both teams. Now, it has been mostly on one side of the ball for each team, but still.
Cassidy fields it at the 20. Cassidy out to the 30, breaks
bounces
one
off at
tackle,
number 31.
and he's pushed down out at the 40 by number, is that 2?
It's number 7.
Oh, number 7. Cameron Sloan with the tackle there at the 39.
So Cassidy, that's his second return that he actually does something with. Fourth return tonight.
If you're Miamisburg's defense, you got to stand up, pin your ears back, and you have to keep Roundtree
And they're
in front
playing
of you.
off of Willian Yates tremendously.
Roundtree rolling to the outside. Roundtree breaks one tackle, breaks two, spin move, and across the 45 out to the 46.
Good blocking and good tough running. For the
About a
quarterback,
gain of
Cameron Roundtree.
6 on the play.
Those are the kind of runs you see from Roundtree, though, as you see on the City Barbecue replay. He just rolls to the right. He follows his blocking.
Could have been holding there on Standifer if they wanted to.
Intelligently cuts back to the inside, and it's going to be 2nd and 3 here with 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter.
Roundtree hands off to Standifer. Standifer blows through the first down, through or past midfield down to the 46.
Tackle by number 48, Jackson Gebhardt.
Miamisburg needs stops. They cannot allow Standifer and Roundtree to just get 6-7 yards each carry.
Well, Standifer had a great first half and has just followed it up here. Really running hard the entire game.
Now watch out for that delayed halfback draw up the middle. Roundtree does not keep it. Hands off to Standifer.
Great fake.
Standifer down inside the 30 at about the 27-yard line.
Roundtree sold that all the way, causing number 49, Carter Brown, to run straight into him, thinking he had the ball. Good play design there. That looked like a read option, Jared.
If you're Miamisburg, you have to hold them to a field goal. Touchdown, or not touchdown.
It's a necessity.
Turnover or field goal.
Absolutely a necessity.
Standifer with another
That's going to be a hold.
false start. The
False
play
start?
was play was blown dead.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be a hold on 53.
Sixth false start against the Panthers. Well, that could have been holding on 73, like you said.
Oh, I said 53, but
Oh,
I don't know. I might have seen it wrong. Anyways, doesn't matter.
well, they were right next to each other.
1st and 15. 9:11 left. Oh,
If-
9 minutes and 11 seconds. My bad. Too soon. Cameron Roundtree. Talk about him again. Doing an exceptional job. And he's not doing good how you think a quarterback would do good. He's doing all the little things really, really well. He's finely tuning his skills.
Refs put 5 seconds back on the clock. Miamisburg, 1st and 15. You have to stop it.
So you hear the cowbells ringing
Man,
here at Holland.
that's a weak one. Standifer, no, Roundtree pulls it out at the last second and crosses about the 30. Maybe gets the 5 yards back. 42 at the tackle, Dylan Grimm.
Number 43 coming off the field, Cale Parkhurst.
Cale Parkhurst. You see number 17 checks in for him, Dylan Woodkey.
He's holding his head. That doesn't look good at all.
Well, I think his helmet just popped off. I'm assuming that's why he's coming off. Springboro's going to let this clock tick down as we approach 8.5 minutes left. 2nd and long, 2nd and 10 from the 28.
They're going to have to keep their eyes on the 3 receivers on the left side of the field.
I don't think Springboro would chance it with a pass. Low snap. Roundtree back to pass. Hughes
Oh
has
my
it.
goodness, Eric Hughes with a great route run.
Eric Hughes, a 28-yard touchdown catch and run on 2nd and long.
And he ran that perfectly, as you see on the City Barbecue replay. Play action, drop back, straight to Hughes. Gets just under number 22 out in coverage for Miamisburg, Joey Yerkins.
58, a chance to go back up 10.
Well, 8:22 left. Not much time left for Miamisburg running out quickly. Connor Luxick on the extra point. over 1,100 total yards here for both teams. An incredible showcase of high school talent tonight, Jared.
Luxic's extra point is up and good. That'll make his.
And one name that hasn't been heard much in the second half is Tyler Johnson. He's had one target this entire half, and it was incomplete. Locking down the coverage. That was one of the keys of the game going into the second half of Springboro, I'm sure. That's something they discussed, no doubt. Because every single time, instead of a light shade by Josh Collins, that safety, you see a heavy shade. It's really halting for Tyler Johnson from exerting his full potential. 8:22 left in this game here. Luxett's going to kick it off here. Back to return is Tony Clark and Cameron Kirkpatrick.
Luxic on to kick off once again. Let's see if he puts this one back in the end zone. It's not going to go into the end zone. And fielded at the 1 is that's number 25, Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick still on his feet, out past the 30.
And the 9th kickoff for the Springboro Panthers. Kirkpatrick takes it to about the 28. One of the most high-scoring games that MVCC has ever been a part of, I'm sure.
Well, 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Springboro beat Centerville 50-49 in a rain-delayed game, but by far this is one of the other ones where both teams have been involved in it. Yes.
Well, Miamisburg still has 3 timeouts, so there's still no hope lost for
Vongsy back to pass, airing it across the middle.
Myers
to Jackson
again,
Myers, and just about a hair and too much in front of him.
Number 43 on the coverage for Springboro. Joe Polking, the middle linebacker.
Polking's been moving out to safety quite a bit tonight.
Tate Vongsy has overthrown that a couple times tonight.
Yeah, that's kind of going back to what against Loveland. No, not Loveland. Troy.
Those touch passes is what he really needs to get down.
Attack the zone.
So here we go. Vongsy coming out here again. And they're definitely leaning way more towards the pass than they were
at
in the
this
first
point.
half.
You have to.
It looks like a run here. Vongsy, play action.
Throws it back across the field to
A
Clark.
cross-field play. Good block by number 67 for Miamisburg, Cody Gullett. And that's going to be
That'll be enough for a first down.
a good about 12-yard play there. Play action, cross-field. Don't see that much, but Mike Knock hit the crap out of Tate Vongsy on the other side. He has a little hitch in his step coming across that field.
Chesaday with the tackle there for the Panthers. 1st and 10 out to the 40. 8:03 left. Miamisburg has got to put a little bit of pep in their step. Down 10, 59-49.
Tony Clark, 3 receptions, 51 yards in the night. Pretty solid night in the air.
Yerkins, the running back in the backfield. Vongsy hands off to Yerkins. Yerkins up the middle for maybe a gain of 2.
Upended immediately.
By number
Great
40.
play. That was Mike Knott.
Lincoln
came underneath.
Tropsell. If you're Miamisburg, you have to abandon the run almost. 2nd and 8, and the clock is ticking as we approach 7
Something
and
to
a
back
half.
up what you said. Tate Vongsy has 350 yards on the night and 4 touchdowns.
That's
So
only
definitely a career night.
second and 8, and the clock is still ticking away. Miamisburg taking way too much time. Vongsy back
Drop
to
back.
pass. Johnson on a go hit, and Johnson
Oh.
incomplete, but a flag comes in.
That's gonna.
I would not call
I
that
don't think
pass
that was pass
interference.
interference there.
But let's see what the ref says. Let's see if we can see a replay. I do
It
not.
looks like they were called holding. They're communicating to each other. You see on the City Barbecue replay. Nothing. So there's a flag. 7:16 left, 2nd and 8 to go. Johnson almost had it in his hands.
It's
but
against Springboro. Let's see. That's 5, 10, 11. That's holding. It's a holding penalty against Matt. Was it Max Yost?
Max Yost,
Max Yost.
number 19, the corner out there. And the heated battle between number 19 and number 13, Tyler Johnson and Max Yost, continues. (59-49) here.
7:16 left. Miamisburg has got to move the ball quicker than this.
Johnson and Yost alone.
Vongsy hands off to Clark, and Clark's hit in the backfield. About a 3-yard loss on the play.
And someone who has been on the ball all night, number 6, Mike Knock. Outstanding play by him. Initially just blows past the inside of the line, and I think a lot of that has to do with number 55 not even being there. Stebbins was a huge part of that offensive line. Kept them grounded for most of the part inside, and Mike Knox is just blowing past that center every time.
A 2-yard loss official. But under 7 minutes left. You see Tyler Johnson's down here at the bottom of the screen. Coonley and Jackson are at the top. Vongsy back to pass really deep. Screen pass set up for Yerkins. Yerkins is tackled at about the 45, so it'll be 3rd and about 7. But
Great block by Doc Lanehart there.
Miamisburg has got to get up on this line and hike this ball quickly.
Well, 6 minutes left. You need this, and you need a stop.
I think it's too late to rely on your defense. I think it's going to be put in the hands of Dillon and an onside kick if they can score.
Well, they still got 3 timeouts here, Jared, and the way Steve Chanel plays, I think he's going to give it back to Springboro. On the
inability to stop.
If Springboro doesn't make a mistake next drive, and that's very possible. Any given Friday, man, anything can happen under these lights.
3rd and 6 from the
Vongsy back.
45. Vongsy back to pass. Bullet to
That's
Jackson.
Gonna be corralled by
That's a
Quinn Coonley.
catch. Catch. It'll stop the clock to mark the first down and spot the chains. Let's take a look here at the City Barbecue replay.
Good short curl by Quinn Coonley there. Corralling
And he
it,
does catch it.
at least from our angle.
But Miamisburg needs to be on the line. You have to go to a no huddle. 5.5 minutes left and you're down 10. It's not a one-possession game.
Toss to Clark outside. He has a seam.
Clark has a seam to the outside and he is tackled
Just
inbounds.
short of the first down. Just short.
About an 8-yard gain, 9-yard gain on that one. But if you're Springboro, you're happy with that. The clock continues to tick.
And Tony Clark just eclipses 100 yards, 20 attempts, 105 rushing yards on the night, and 2 touchdowns.
But tick under 5 minutes left. 2nd and 2 from the 30. Vongsy hands off to
Clark
Yerkin.
up the middle.
Clark breaks 2 tackles and he's inside the red zone down to the 12.
Great tackle there by Andrew Weedman.
Weedman saved a touchdown on that one.
The senior linebacker has been very involved in the defense tonight.
Clark must have put some butter on him on that one as the way he slipped through that. Under 5 minutes left, 4:45. 1st and 10 from the 14.
So Coonley and Johnson on the outside.
Clark with a pitch to the outside. Clark cuts it back in. No, that's
Yerkins.
Yerkins. I saw, as soon as he cut back to me, I saw it. But Miamisburg is taking their own chances out of this game. You have to quit running the ball. Official timeout.
.4:17.
And now the
And now
clock
it's
winds again. 2nd and 6 from the 10. Miamisburg has got to target the pass. Steve Chanel's taking way too much time to send Vongsy out there with the play. Play clock's already down to 10. Look, Coonley and Jackson to the top. Johnson down here at the bottom.
Vongsy's dropping back.
Vongsy throws out to, that's Coonley. Coonley has the first down.
That's definitely a first, though, Jared. That's a plus.
If you're the Vikings, get up on the line. Keep your linemen there.
They're going to have to rush this, man.
No rushing. You have
Not in the literal sense. So Johnson.
Bad clock management by Steve Chanel.
Johnson is
Clark gets
lined
the
up with
carry.
Yost.
Clark tackled right in the middle of the field.
3 minutes to go, and I think they're going to rely on this onside kick or this stop. But whatever it's going to be, it's
You're down
gonna
10.
defy the game.
Take the field goal. You're down 10. You have to get a field goal. Johnson checks out of this game, so it obviously a running play now. You see Dillon at the top of your screen.
Colin Dillon, the kicker, is their #1 receiver here.
Vongsy.
It's a play action.
Vongsy has blockers out in front.
Vongsy
Vongsy has a touchdown run with 2:58 left.
The junior quarterback punches it in and makes this a one-possession game.
You see there in the City Barbecue replay, Vongsy had Colin Alcorn out in front of him, so there was no way he was going to be tackled inbounds.
So good play design there. And Tate Vongsy punches it in. If they make this extra point, Jared, they're only down by 3 here.
Down by 3 with 3 timeouts and 2:58 left.
Tate Vongsy has 42 yards and 6 carries and a touchdown. And
Kick
Dillon
is up and good.
executes on the extra point. 59-56. Springboro with the lead here.
This play call could come down to Miamisburg's season. Do you kick it off deep and rely on your defense?
The way the special teams coordinator is pointing at the players,
I say you
think
kick the
it's-
onside.
I think it's an onside kick here, Jared. I don't know.
Miamisburg's defense has not been able to stop the Panthers at all tonight.
I say you do an onside, and if it doesn't work, you try to
You still
try to
have
milk those
3
timeouts. Yeah.
I mean, if you onside it, 90% of the way think Springboro will just try and run this out.
Another problem tonight has been Standifer. They have not been able to stop Standifer at all.
And that's another thing with rushing. Roundtree and Standifer has been beating up this Vikings defensive line.
Well, the problem is Miamisburg Vikings, everybody stops the run by packing the box, and it's so hard to pack the box against Springboro because you leave those one-on-one matchups outside. They always go with a 4-receiver set or 3-receiver set. Very difficult to block. Very difficult to stop the run. Excuse me.
I'm calling onside. What are you going to say?
I think they're onside kicking it here, Jared. I don't think there's another place to go, to be honest.
It has to go to the 50 unless a Panthers player touches it.
Well, Springboro's no doubt preparing for an onside kick as there's nobody returning it.
At this point, maybe you pooch it deep.
Nope, they're onside kicking it here, Jared.
It's live ball.
Oh, and it's live, it's live, it's live! Oh! And it's out of bounds. That's going to be... Oh, my goodness.
Miamisburg had the chance. So Springboro will start 1st and 10 at the 50. Miamisburg has 3 timeouts.
Whew. Kind of stuff will get your heart racing, Jared.
The only reason there was no penalty is because Springboro touched the ball first. If
Any
nobody touched
given
the
Friday.
ball, it would have been, well, if nobody would have touched the ball, Springboro would have started at the 35, so it would have been a
No need for more cowbell here tonight in Miamisburg.
It's going to be cowbell the rest of the night. Roundtree fakes it up the middle, and he's tackled immediately. Gain of 1.
So there's your stop. There's your stop.
No timeout.
They're gonna wait. They're gonna wait here. Interesting strategy here by Steve Chanel. Yeah,
it's a good call.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
You don't want to burn through all the timeouts in case they pick up the first down on this next play.
It is early, and the high school clock's only 25 seconds.
Right.
Taking a full advantage of that, and so is Springboro.
But nothing is going near the sidelines if you're Springboro.
And you can feel this side of the field.
Standifer gets it, and Standifer's hit the
Immediately
backfield
stopped.
for a big loss.
Number
A loss.
43, Kale Parkers. He left the field of play earlier with perhaps a head injury.
Watch Parkers blow through the block and tackle Standifer at the legs.
The Viking horn is blowing. You know what that means, folks.
Timeout.
3rd down, and Chanel's going to execute his first time out.
Nobody signaled a timeout yet.
Maybe they just knew.
Oh, okay, there it goes. Scoreboard, Miamisburg score clock. This is going to be huge. 3rd down, a big stop here. This could be the ball game.
Do you think this is a pass here, Jared? Do you think Springboro is trusting their defense?
I don't know. This one's going to be a hard
I know,
one.
that's what I'm saying. This is a great football game here, ladies and gentlemen. The rivalry continues, and we'll see which way momentum shifts here.
The Viking horn blows.
The biggest 3rd down of the night, no doubt.
3rd and 10 from midfield. Roundtree hands off to Standifer. No, Roundtree keeps
Roundtree up the middle. Roundtree may go all the way.
Roundtree, a 50-yard touchdown run on 3rd and 10 with 2:04 left.
And crushing the hopes of the Miamisburg Vikings. Wow, overcoming an early deficit. And that touchdown pushes them up 66-56 with an extra point. Whew. So Cameron Roundtree, how about the game he has had tonight? I think that's a player of the game deserving, don't you think, Jared?
There is a Viking down. No way to signal the number yet. But yeah, Roundtree, if everything holds up, this is
Crushing blow. Not only the injury.
I still have not. Is that number 2?
I think that's the one who tried to tackle. Yeah, that would be Cameron Moore if it was the one that tried to tackle Cameron Roundtree at the last second. Such a crushing injury at a bad time.
Game's still not over. Miamisburg could. What if Johnson hits? There's always possibilities. Cameron Moore's up. Round of applause by the home stands.
Well, I've kind of like, in my mind, Tyler Johnson's almost not in the game anymore.
No,
His two targets have been stouted by the safety over top, Josh Collins, who's done an excellent job this game of double covering Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, after he exploded in that first half. Springboro is laying it all on the line tonight. They needed a win tonight to at least keep their playoff chances alive. And so far, it does.
If Luxick makes this, that would total for 122 total points in a high school football game, Jared. Not basketball. It'll be interesting to see.
High snap. Kick is up and good, though, still by Luxick.
It'll be interesting to see if the basketball teams even put up this many points. This is outstanding. This is a great game of football that we've seen tonight from these two offenses.
And there's still 2:04 left.
It's not quite over yet, no, but very unlikely here.
Well,
the onside kick almost went through the first time, so they're going to need a quick score and an onside kick, no doubt here, Jared.
it'll be interesting to see. Steve Chanel wasted so much time on that last drive. They took off 6 minutes off the clock. So it'll be interesting. They have to abandon the pass, or they have to abandon the run. Miamisburg does the rest of this game, unless you can get 10 yards and get out of bounds.
Well, they need to go back to those 3 receiver sets, Jared. Those were working the last 2 drives, the second half, rushing hasn't been their thing to do. Tony Clark, a couple successful runs last drive. But other than that, there will be no running in this offense.
It was a couple successful runs, but it still took off too much time.
So here we go. Luxick kicking it off here. The biggest third down of the game.
Yeah, you have to put this in the end zone. You don't want to give Miamisburg a chance to get a big return out of this.
Could be very disastrous.
Luxick's kick is up, and it's fielded at about the 2. Is that Kirkpatrick again?
Yeah, that is Kirkpatrick.
Kirkpatrick's still
Maneuvering
on
to
his
the
feet.
outside.
Kirkpatrick's now going backwards.
Kesterday, great pursuit.
Let's see if there's a flag that comes out. There was a late push by Kesterday, but maybe if Kirkpatrick would have flopped, maybe we would have had a penalty. But
Here we
Kirkpatrick
are.
was out to about the 25, and with him still trying to make plays, he got pushed down. Oh, so it was only a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, I was hoping they wouldn't count that back too much. But Kesterday, really good at closing speed there.
Special teams player. Big game tonight for him. 2 big returns and a big tackle there. Minute 55 with 10-point differential.
And you can bet all eyes are going to be on number 13 on that outside matchup.
Vongsy back to pass, looks that way, but throws to Coonley on the outside. And Coonley
Getting out of
gets
bounds.
out of bounds.
It's about a 5-yard
But
play right there.
yeah, only a 5-yard gain.
Short curl is not what you want to do when you have 2 minutes left and you're down by 10.
5 yards and 5 seconds go off.
So 66 to 56 here. Vongsy coming out in a 3-receiver set. Vongsy back to pass to Clark.
Clark Johnson just standing there.
Johnson started standing
And
there
Clark
like he
gets
was
out
already
of bounds.
tackled.
Clark out of bounds at the 40. But Johnson was just standing there.
So good job by Clark pushing his teammates and, hey, man, need to get these corners out of my way. So that play takes 9 seconds off the clock. Gains about 15 yards, though. So a gain of 11. 141 left to go. Running the play clock. Vongsy. That might be a flag here. No?
I don't see anything.
Oh, 141.
The clock was on that already.
So stop the clock to put 2 seconds on it.
Which it was at 141 before they hiked it.
Yeah, kind of unnecessary.
Vongsy back, looking to the far sideline. Separation, and
Oh,
it's
my goodness.
out in front. Is that Coonley again?
Vongsy could have maybe had a touchdown right there. That was Colin Dillon.
Vongsy has just, when his team has needed him, he has just put a little bit too much air under the ball.
Yeah, those touch passes are not favoring him lately.
I mean, he's not even looking at Johnson anymore.
Well, you've seen it against Troy. You've seen it against Fairmont. Now you've seen it a 3rd game in a row against Springboro. Vongsy's mechanics really need to be worked on.
When push comes to shove, I think the pressure has gotten to him. Vongsy back to pass again, going deep to the far sideline.
Tyler
against
Johnson, one-on-one jump ball,
And
and Johnson comes down with it.
Johnson comes down with it at the 35, 33. But, I mean, Miamisburg has to get their linemen up on that ball. This is where play cards need. You see Johnson.
He has made tremendous play, 251 yards and 3 touchdowns on the game. An outstanding player, and the clock keeps on running as Johnson's going to get the Yost matchup once again.
Vongsi back again. Vongsi throws a screen
Yes.
pass out to Yerkins. Yerkins gets out of bounds.
It's going to be out of bounds at about the 31.
So about a gain of
Yeah.
2. 30 gain of 3.
Brings the clock down to 116. That's Yerkin's third catch of the day. They need a touchdown soon.
At that point, if you're Yerkins, just bat that ball down. Don't waste the 4 extra seconds trying to fight to get out of bounds.
Johnson out wide.
Vongsi,
Coonley.
a screen pass, and there's a roughing the passer called on Cameron Piper as he drills Vongsi into the ground.
Great pressure on the screen, but
It's going to go from 2nd and 7 on the 30 to 1st and 10 at the 15.
horrible mistake. He already threw the pass on the ground. Just lay off of him. Mental mistake there by Springboro. Cam Piper, though. Cameron Piper and Mike Knock have been all over this offensive line all game. So you got to give them a little credit.
1st and 10 from the 15. You have to put it in the end zone on this play to at least give your team a chance.
So Bongzi, after a long night, drop back
Vongsi
again.
throwing
That's
it
the
deep to
Coonley.
Coonley. Coonley,
Oh, and he drops it.
incomplete pass. Coonley
Straight
had
through
it.
his chest. I thought he could have corralled that one. Tried to catch it with his hands, though, and not his chest. So 1:08 now on the clock. 2nd and 10 on the Springboro 15.
Vongsi
So-
coming into the play with the game. It's a good thing it was an incomplete pass. I mean, that's 15 seconds they've already
Well, if
wasted
I'm
off the play
Springboro,
clock.
I'm looking at Piper and Knock to make a play.
Vongsi back to pass. That's a terrible decision if you're Vongsi. Do
Had to
not
get rid of that
throw
ball.
that ball. Throw it away.
Well, miraculous penetration once again by defensive lineman Mike Knock, who's been all over him. As you see on the City Barbecue replay, no one blocks Knock. He just blows off the edge, right past Doc Lanehart, straight to the quarterback, forcing Vongsi to make a throw.
And
He didn't
Chanel
wanna
calls a timeout. It has to. That was a terrible decision by Vongsi to throw that ball. Throw it away. You know you can't get the touchdown or the first down. And if you look at it again, a 10-point game. Cut your losses, take the field goal now, and onside kick and try for the touchdown, I say. You've got to get the field goal eventually. You might as well take it now with your being this close.
Yeah, go big or go home, Jared. I don't think Chanel's going to do it though. They haven't taken a field goal all season. I think they're gonna try to opt for a touchdown here.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at the 15-yard line, and you're throwing 2-3-yard passes with no blocking, the game's going to end with Miamisburg throwing passes in the middle of the field when they should be targeting the sideline.
And the highlight player of the night for Miamisburg, watch number 13 out wide against number 19, Max Yost.
Vongsi looking back. Vongsi
Oh.
escapes the pressure. Incomplete.
So great pocket mechanics, but can't get the throw.
4th and 10 now from the 15.
This offensive line needs to come together and adjust as they've been getting penetration all drive. Perhaps the most penetration of the game.
Here comes the field goal kicker. If Chanel would have sent his offense back down there, that is almost giving him the white flag. But 4th and 10 from the 15. This will be about let's see where he lines up. This will be about a 31-yard field goal.
Look at Chanel's shirt when they get a chance.
Late substitutions coming on for Miamisburg. And that's it. 12 men on the field. That'll back them up 5 more yards.
Goodness gracious.
Miami's-
Horrible mental mistake there by Miamisburg.
Now it'll be 4th and 15 from the 20.
And Chanel embodies his own words on his shirt, winning is hard.
30. This will be a 36-yard field goal attempt now. 37. He actually moves back a yard further.
Very bold for a kicker who hasn't attempted a kick this season.
Dylan's kick is up. Good. Is it long enough?
And
Incomplete. It's over.
That's the nail in the coffin, but flag on the field. They were jawing it up.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Springboro. If that's, it looks like it's after the play, so it will not matter.
So Springboro's offense is going to come out here now and wrap this game up.
There's no time to get down there or care about whatever he needs.
Perhaps that would be why Colin Dillon has not picked a field goal so far this season. He just doesn't have the kind of length needed to convert on those field goal chances.
So Springboro will come back out here now after the unsportsmanlike penalty.
And we say try because there are still 49 seconds in this game and anything can happen.
No, I don't believe that Miamisburg's going to pull a comeback out there. I don't think there's a chance now.
If you want to highlight where the Vikings messed up in this last quarter, is the taking the too much time off that touchdown drive to give them 56. They took 6 minutes, and they should have abandoned the run quicker than that, and they didn't. Miamisburg's going to drop to 3-4 and almost likely end their season.
Well, Springboro is just
Springboro's going to be
played their heart out
3-4.
tonight, man.
Springboro's going to advance to 3-4 as Roundtree takes a knee. Chanel's not going to take the timeout.
He's going to let this one be.
And Springboro has themselves up pretty good. 2 Division I wins in a row, so possible 12 points looking at them with the computer rankings. And the Springboro Panthers student section is starting the soccer chant for the day of one. And this will be the final play. Roundtree kneels for the final time, and they're going to let the final 10 seconds run off.
And how about Cam Roundtree tonight? No doubt the player of the game.
Cam Roundtree, player of the game for our game number 7. Springboro wins 66-56. I mean, the score's not going to show how hard Miamisburg played in this game, and Miamisburg was up 14 at one point in this game. But your final score, Springboro Panthers come in and wreck Miamisburg's homecoming night 66-56 in our week number 7. Join us next week for week number 8. Oakwood Lumberjacks at the Valley View Spartans in Germantown next week. Signing off with the rest of the Miami Valley Communications crew alongside Jeff Allen and Jared Bergstrom. Thanks, folks. Good night. See you next week.
That's all.
Roundtree.